The boy was raised by his 6 overlord grandparents since he was a child. Sword Grandpa is the strongest swordsmanship master today. Heavenly Mystery Grandpa can comprehend all things in the world. Crimson Grandma is stunningly beautiful, and is the princess of the Kitsune clan. However, they are just a few very powerful individuals. They were sealed in and inside Daluo Mountain for 500 years. And Chu Skylight, who they picked up and raised. He is not only their motivation for survival, but also the hope for breaking the seal in the end. But in his past life, he was a code monkey. After he arrived in this world, all he wanted to do was farm and grow crops. He thought that peaceful days would continue like this. But what he didn't expect was that Goldfinger would come unexpectedly. He held the idea of just wanting to grow vegetables. Chu Skylight knocked his head 3 times against the cabbage, indicating that his original intention has never changed. But he still could not resist the determination of the system to cultivate Mary Sue Dragon. He was forcibly entered into the system. Suddenly, a golden light shot straight into the sky. And this movement also disturbed several elders. When Chu Skylight opened his eyes. At this point, he had already arrived in an independent space. The system wants him to choose a martial soul for awakening here. But before Chu Skylight could firmly refuse, the system automatically selected the most suitable martial soul for him. Dazzling golden light entered his pupils one by one. I am the eye that sees through all things. Golden eyes. When he opened his eyes again, several old men had surrounded him tightly. Sword Ghost placed his hand on Chu Skylight's head with anticipation. To his surprise, what he sensed was the lowest tier spirit-grade martial soul. Several people immediately covered their faces, crying and lamenting the injustice of the heavens. At this moment, the system informed him. Golden Eyes is the lowest level martial soul. But it can evolve infinitely by devouring various materials. As expected, Chu Skylight still chooses to continue being lazy. He has no intention of becoming the protagonist Mary Sue Dragon at all. The system doesn't indulge him either. The scorched Chu Skylight got up and asked Sword Grandpa to take him to Daluo Mountain. Meanwhile, several uninvited guests also arrived at Daluo Mountain. The purpose of their trip. They are looking for the dragon blood fungi hidden in the snow-capped mountains, just to cure the women around them. But when they successfully found the blood fungi pond, little did they know that the Black Jiaolong at the Martial Lord stage was guarding this place. Just as the green-haired man was enjoying his harvest, the Black Jiaolong leaped out of the water. It didn't expect that there was food delivery service in ancient times. The other two also directly summoned their own martial souls upon seeing this. But after several exchanges, the leading elderly person soon realized the strength of this spiritual beast is actually above that of his own as a 1-star martial lord. Just saw Black Jiaolong's move, Long's tail sweep. Let the old man's head be buried in the stone wall, his life and death uncertain. Later, Black Jiaolong opened its blood-filled big mouth, ready to devour the remaining 2 people. Just at this critical moment, a figure with a Kirin arm appeared out of nowhere. He knocked Black Jiaolong unconscious with just one punch. The newcomer is Chu Skylight, who went out to hunt spiritual beasts. The green-haired man, looking fearful, asked who he was. But before Chu Skylight could answer, the Black Jiaolong behind him suddenly woke up. Chu Skylight, however, remained completely calm about this, because Sword Grandpa has already taken action. The next second, Black Jiaolong's head and body were completely relocated. And at this moment, the old man also pulled out the head inserted in the stone wall. The old man at the moment of seeing Sword Grandpa. The old man recognized his identity. He is one of the 6 old monsters in Endless Inn. The one-armed sword ghost who kills without blinking an eye. The sentence has not been completed. Sword Ghost slapped him in the face with one hand. This plunged the old man's head into the trunk once again. Then Sword Grandpa clenched his hand with one hand. He then controlled the remaining two people. At this moment, the woman spat out a mouthful of blood. Chu Skylight quickly stopped, thinking that his grandfather was about to kill again. However, Sword Grandpa insisted that her coughing up blood had nothing to do with him. It turns out that the woman has the 9 body, but she is unclear about her constitution. She activated her martial soul in such a cold place, like Dalyua Mountain. This led to the sudden outbreak of her frost poison. Then Sword Grandpa threw the woman to Chu Skylight. Green-haired man instantly exploded in anger at the sight. Sword Grandpa ignored them, and directly asked what their purpose was for coming to Dalyua Mountain. At this time, the man with green hair suddenly became tough and said, "I won't tell you even if you kill me." The result that greeted him was a big slap in the face. Then the man with green hair explained their purpose for being here in a straightforward manner. Sword Grandpa knew after listening that these three were not spies from the mountains. He then gave them a big slap to reunite the old and the young. After completing these tasks, he intended to leave with Chu Skylight. Chu Skylight asked in confusion what to do with this woman. Sword Grandpa spoke lightly. "Turn back and marry you." Chu Skylight, with determination written all over his face, of course will not accept. He is a high-quality young person from the 21st century. How could he engage in such despicable behavior of taking advantage of others' misfortune? Later, under the puzzled gaze of the system, Chu Skylight decided to undress the woman first. The woman, who was in a coma, groggily opened her eyes at this moment. As a result, she saw the scene in front of her. But the next second, she hadn't had a chance to break free from Chu Skylight's restraints. She spat out another mouthful of blood from her mouth. It turns out the woman is the 9 body. Because she displayed the martial soul in such a frigid place as Dalyua Mountain. This led to the outbreak of frost poison in her body. Now, only Chu Skylight, who possesses the 9 body, can save her. Of course, it's definitely not the way you are thinking. Chu Skylight was seen biting his own finger. He draws a blood symbol on the woman's chest. The woman gradually began to awaken immediately. But the next second, before the woman could even shout, "Lothario!" Chu Skylight took the initiative to put on the appearance of a shy young man. He said he took off her clothes only to save her. The woman not only did not appreciate it, but also bit his finger. The sudden accusation also left the woman a little confused. Little did they know, this move is called Chu Skylight. Walking the path of a woman leaves no way out for women, or rather, defeating magic with magic. Just then, a burst of urgent cheering came from the door. "We rely on you to carry our great-grandson." Chu Skylight covered his head and smiled bitterly. He scolded this group of old bastards who force good women into prostitution. Then he intended to let the woman leave like this. When he came to the window, he suddenly felt a strong pressure. At this moment, an old man at the foot of the mountain was shouting angrily. "The Jialan Snow family Snow Zhenchuan is visiting. My granddaughter Moran disturbed your peaceful cultivation. I apologize on her behalf. Please forgive her. Otherwise, I will just shut down this endless inn." The Jialan Snow family is one of the 4 major families within the imperial city. Inheritance for 100 years. Strong individuals emerge constantly. The head of the family, Snow Zhenchuan, is also a powerhouse at the pinnacle of the martial king realm. Moran looked anxious and urgently asked Chu Skylight to escape, saying that his nature is not bad. Otherwise, her grandfather will definitely not let him off the hook when he comes to kill later. Chu Skylight, however, remained confident and smiled indifferently. Because he knew that the old folks in the inn were also restless characters. At the foot of the mountain, the owner of the Snow family saw that there was no movement coming from the inn. He decided to launch a direct assault with the 2 elder accompanying him. As a result, halfway through the flight, one of the people fell first. In front of the other 2 people, a strange blue small ball appeared as well. 2 blue beams of light slashed across the sky. As expected, Elder's head plunged into the snow again. The person who took the shot turned out to be the old heavenly mystery. Just as he was about to deliver a fatal blow to the opponent, Moran suddenly jumped out and begged for mercy. At the same time, a yellow smoke rose inside the inn. Heavenly Mystery turned to look. A golden rope suddenly bound him. And the one who initiated this turned out to be Chu Skylight. It turned out to be just a few days ago. Chu Skylight was threatened by the dog system. If he does not accept the mission to rescue Snow Family's granddaughter, he will be subjected to a cruel and inhumane punishment of lightning strikes. That's how today's scene came to be. But in fact, the grandfathers didn't really intend to blame him. But they were just afraid that his strength would be insufficient after he came down the mountain and might be sought after for revenge by those people. For this reason, Chu Skylight had no choice. He confessed the matter of upgrading his own martial soul. But in the end, he still could not escape the fate of kneeling in front of the firewood room. In the following days, the old guys underwent training as invigorating as being injected with chicken blood. Chu Skylight. Their strength has been weakening year by year due to the seal. Unsealing is imminent. As a result, he has suffered greatly. Chu Skylight returned to the inn as usual, trembling. He saw several elderly men looking very serious. It turns out they want Chu Skylight to come down the mountain tonight. For this, they even prepared a teleport formation specially for him. Affected by the seal, the further away the old folks are from the inn, the weaker their strength becomes. After going down the mountain, they need Chu Skylight to find the 6th stone of unsealing. And from what they know, one of them is in the hands of the Jialan royal family. The teleport formation will also teleport him directly into Jialan City. At this moment, Venom Grandpa handed a ring to Chu Skylight. He said there is a present from all 6 of them inside. When necessary, this ring can help him turn danger into safety. With a confident smile, Chu Skylight made a farewell gesture. His figure also gradually disappeared in the teleport formation. At this moment, several elderly, who were over 100 years old, couldn't help but shed tears. As the figure completely dissipated, Sky Grandpa couldn't help but spit out blood. His strength had severely declined due to years of being sealed. Now, using teleport formation under pressure had completely caused him to fall out of the Martial Emperor stage. At this moment, Sword Grandpa lifted his head 45 degrees to look up at the sky. I don't know if little Skylight will like the teleportation location we chose for him. It's inside Jialan Imperial City. Chu Skylight is sweating profusely and dare not move at all. He is surrounded by prostitutes in heavy makeup and bright clothes. It turns out the old folks are the ones who understand his thoughts the best. At this time, the system made a suggestion. The host is asked to bring all women into the harem. As a high-quality young person of the 21st century, Chu Skylight swiftly fled the scene after loudly condemning gambling, drugs, and prostitution. He hid inside a house. He narrowly escaped unscathed, only to find himself in another dangerous situation. Just at that moment, Chu Skylight suddenly heard a familiar voice. He immediately used golden eyes and looked outside the house, only to see a familiar figure. The figure was none other than the old man who liked sticking his head into the wall. Then another person appeared. It made Chu Skylight widen his eyes even more. Chu Skylight was transported to the brothel. He saw Moran, who had been taken back by his grandfather to be his wife, and the old man who accompanied her. He couldn't help but exclaim that the world is really small. He quickly put on his mask. He couldn't let them see his handsome face. Later he learned from their mouths. Their purpose of this trip turned out to be to hide the seductive fox in the inn. The seductive fox clan has a history of 1,000 years in the celestial continent. Because they were constantly starting wars with humans at the border, 100 years ago, they were collectively besieged by various immortal sects. Now they have long been extinct. The Crimson Grandma of Chu Skylight is a member of the seductive fox clan. Due to getting drunk once before, she revealed her true form. The old guys finally told him about the arrival of Crimson Grandma. And just then, Chu Skylight's hiding place was also discovered by the old man. Later, in order to not reveal his identity, he had no choice but to activate the escape mode. But that old man is still a strong martial lord stage expert. The old man kicked Chu Skylight into the crowd with one kick. Chu Skylight fell on a young girl. After he sat up, he actually touched a furry tail. The people from the Jiaolan Snow family also exclaimed in surprise upon seeing the situation. The girl is indeed the seductive fox they have been desperately searching for. The old man then ordered Moran to chase after Chu Skylight. He himself then personally pursued the young girl. At the same time, the dog system unexpectedly triggered a task, requiring him to collect the blood of seductive fox. Muttering under his breath, Chu Skylight casually took out a few smoke bombs. Taking advantage of Moran's vision being affected, he turned around and quickly hid inside a house. Then he took out the shape-shifting Dan from the ring given by the old guys. With a rumble, Chu Skylight also felt a sharp pain in his chest. He, who thought he would become an elderly person, quickly took off his clothes. But when Moran kicked the door open and walked in, but she only saw a disheveled girl panting heavily. The two stared at each other in silence for a moment. Moran looked embarrassed, thinking that the girl was doing that kind of thing. She picked up the door that she had kicked and said, "Sorry for the disturbance," wanting to escape. How could Chu Skylight let her get away with it? He worked hard to complete the tasks assigned by the dog system. At this moment, he unexpectedly pounced directly into Moran's arms. He said he is also from the Sacred Moon Academy. He was framed by a friend, and that's how he ended up being sold to the brothel. He pleaded for his senior sister to rescue him. And Moran, seeing this scene, also had a burst of chivalrous spirit. She immediately stated that she would uphold justice for him. And at this moment, outside the house, the young woman from the seductive fox clan has also been captured by the old man. Moran explained the situation of the girl next to him to the old man. The old man then took him back together. Indian room. Moran suggested sending Chu Skylight back to the academy early tomorrow morning. But Chu Skylight is now acting pitiful again. He said he is afraid of men. Anyway, he has to do everything with his senior sister. Moran could only cover his head and smile bitterly. Okay then. I'll take you back tomorrow. Upon hearing this, Chu Skylight could only pretend to look grateful on the surface. In fact, he was already cursing in his heart. This is different from what he had in mind. Later, Moran unexpectedly began to take off his clothes directly. She said the inn no longer had any extra guest rooms available. I could only squeeze in with him at night. And then it evolved into the current situation. During sleep, Chu Skylight clasps his hands together. He only has a passage of Buddhist scripture left in his heart. Moran sees that he can't sleep and turns around wanting to have a conversation with him. But she is drugged by the aphrodisiac in Chu Skylight's hand. He then swiftly left this dangerous place. He turned around and arrived at the prison cell where Little Fox was being held. I quietly made my way to the place where they were holding Seductive Fox. I found only Little Green standing guard. This is too easy. I took out the hypnotic drug again. Little Green was easily subdued. What's the point of having him guard the door? I pushed the door disdainfully, only to find Seductive Fox trapped in the Yogwai ceiling formation. No wonder the defense at the door was so weak. This formation constantly inflicts pain on Yogwai beasts. Quite ruthless. Following the principle of less trouble is better, I took out a small bottle intending to take some blood and leave. She suddenly opened her eyes. She grabbed my hand tightly. She asked me to save her. I was at a loss for what to do. She continued to speak. Please. I can't go into Repentance Valley. Please save me out. I'll do anything you want. Damn. I quickly covered her mouth. Keep your voice down, sister. Ding. The dog system is back. It says it has received a request from a female character. Please complete the task to rescue Seductive Fox and bring her into the harem. Damn it! You're back again? The system says not having a harem is nothing, especially since she is flat-chested. It perfectly fits your aesthetic. That's true. Oh no, wait. Rescuing her is very troublesome. Suddenly the system gave me a familiar electric shock. Then I wish you a pleasant electric shock. Seductive Fox looked at me in shock as I twitched. I kept my tears. I'll save you. Helping others brings joy. I am happy. Dog system. Eventually, I will train you into a planting guide. I am not sure about Jyoshi's thoughts. I am contemplating that if I try to save her, that old man with his dog will definitely notice me. He is a martial lord, after all. This is really difficult for me. I can only rely on it. As soon as I reach out my hand, a huge flame giant appears from my ring. This is Smoke Ghost Grandpa pouring his soul power into it. He has created a battle puppet based on Xing Tian, the Undying Warrior, but my current level is too low to control it properly. I can only use high-quality soul crystals for amplification. This is a high-quality soul crystal. A crystal mine can only have up to 5 pieces. My heart is bleeding. With the integration of the soul crystal, the battle puppet is getting closer to the martial lord stage infinitely. I command it to destroy the Yaogwai ceiling formation. Its large hand directly pierces through the wall, forcefully destroying the Yaogwai ceiling formation. The soul power chain on Jyoshi's body slowly dissipates. I am very happy. This thing is really powerful. I was just about to let it take the two of us away. A rumbling sound came from outside. Old Snow saw that the Yaogwai ceiling formation had been broken. He had already rushed over. He said with a gloomy expression, "Who are you? Why did you break my Yaogwai ceiling formation? It's coming too fast. No way." I let Jyoshi hold the battle puppet. I have to send her out first. And then the battle puppet breaks through the roof at an extremely fast speed, flying towards the outside. But we are still being sealed by Old Snow's soul power. I manipulate the battle puppet to dodge this attack. Then the battle puppet grapples with him. But this old creeper. He kept aiming to chop Jyoshi. There is no way to fight back when battle puppet is protecting Jyoshi. Cannot delay. I quickly control battle puppet to escape. But old creeper raises a hand. Several soul power chains bind battle puppet. Then a huge soul power light chain descends from the sky. Is this a King Great martial art? Old creeper didn't hesitate at all. He activated soul chain and smashed it towards battle puppet. Battle puppet and Jyoshi were severely hit. The ground was smashed and cracked open. Battle puppet and Jyoshi were directly hit by the King Great martial art. It looks like they have been seriously injured. I hurried over. Suddenly, many people ran over. They were all Sacred Moon disciples who came out upon hearing the sound. I stood nervously among them, afraid of being discovered for something amiss. Old Snow said, "I didn't expect the Seductive Fox clan to be in such a miserable state, yet there are still people willing to save them. Unfortunately, we cannot send it to Repentance Valley. I just used too much force. This fox probably won't live long. And this big guy is quite strange. I originally thought it was a spirit guardian, but then discovered it's actually a sophisticated and bizarre puppet, resembling the work of the genius puppet master from 100 years ago." While Old Snow was talking to his disciples, a giant fist unexpectedly came at him. Old Snow, caught completely off guard, was directly sent flying. He crashed through several walls directly. He landed far away. Those students were all shocked. Everyone shivered and looked at Puppet, who ignored the students. It flew towards Old Creeper. I shouted anxiously, "It's going to attack Old Snow again! Senior brothers, please go help Old Snow!" Then they quickly left. I couldn't hold on any longer at this point. I knelt down suddenly. The system quickly asked if I was okay. I replied that I just upgraded and controlled the battle puppet, feeling a bit dizzy. The system expressed concern, saying that soul power consumption was already significant, and forcibly upgrading would surely be too much for the body to handle. I expressed that it was still very worthwhile. The power of the martial master stage battle puppet has increased significantly, enough to hold them off for a while. Let's save Little Fox first. She is too severely injured. I quickly asked the system. What should I do? I don't have the Dan pill to heal Yogwai Beast. She's running out of breath. The system suggests that I enter into a symbiotic blood contract with her. Yogwai Beasts with this contract will have very tenacious vitality. This kind of injury should be able to heal. I hastily bit my finger. Then let's give it a try. I can't let her die here no matter what. I also want to ask her about Crimson Grandma and Seductive Fox. Blood was slowly absorbed at her neck. Then, there was a mysterious beam of light connecting between her and me. Slowly. Surprisingly, her injuries were healed by more than half. Have you ever seen a male protagonist running naked in another world? Little Fox, because of the contract I made with her. Most of her injuries have recovered. After dealing with all of this, I collapsed on the ground. The blood contract consumed too much. I didn't have the strength to help her escape. Then I used the last of my soul power to control the battle puppet to fly back. I commanded it to safely take Little Fox away. After it flew away, I just lay on the ground. I'm so tired after this day. I thought it was safe now. But suddenly, a person walked over. I finally saw the newcomer vaguely. It was Snow Morin, and then I fell asleep. When I opened my eyes again, it was already the next day. I quickly sat up. Is this the bed in the inn? At this moment, Snow Morin walked in. Are you awake? Let's eat. I brought you here after seeing you collapse in the yard last night. She told me that Seductive Fox was eventually taken away. Old Snow was also injured by Puppet. Now they are discussing the matter of returning to Sacred Moon. She should also hurry back. The annual enrollment conference is in a few days. I see. Enrollment conference? That is equivalent to the college entrance examination in the immortal cultivation world. At that time, major academies will gather together to recruit outstanding candidates at the conference. The Sacred Moon Academy has a close relationship with the Jialan royal family. Trying to get close to the royal family through the conference and infiltrating the Sacred Moon is a good way. I originally planned to do this. Just that. Last night before I passed out, I clearly saw her. She should know that I saved Seductive Fox. But what is she trying to say now? She didn't expose me either. Did she not see it, or is she pretending to be with me? Just let it be. Just play along for a while. She stared at me the whole time while I was eating. What's going on? Suddenly I feel that something is not right. My chest started to ache severely. Did she poison me? No. The effect of shape-shifting Dan wore off. I'm turning back. She asked me what's wrong. I quickly said I just suddenly had a fever. Then I hurriedly pushed her out. Sister, I have been like this since I was a child. I can suddenly have a fever of 100 degrees. I will burn you. Please leave quickly. Then I closed the door. My body feels swollen. The Adam's apple is also starting to protrude slowly. I need to leave quickly. I plan to escape through the window. Morin outside the door was anxiously knocking on the door. Little Chu, are you really okay? Then she heard shouting from inside the house. She hurriedly pushed open the door. She saw my clothes being stretched to the limit. With a bang, she closed the door. She rubbed her eyes fiercely. Then she pushed open the door again, just to see my graceful figure flipping through the window. She slammed the door shut once again. Then she began to doubt life, only to see a snowy white man running wildly on the roof. I'm still very shy when Morin sees me. She didn't listen even though I told her not to come in. Forget it. I'll go find Little Fox first. I found some clothes in the ring to put on. According to the induction of the blood contract, she is in the mountain forest to the west. Jiyoshi on the other side suddenly woke up, covered in cold sweat. It's like she had a nightmare. She calmed down a bit and began to recall what happened last night. Although that sister doesn't seem very clever, she is indeed a good person. I must repay her kindness in the future. You wake up. Suddenly someone speaks. She looks up. I see only a friendly face asking her how she feels. Then she directly punches me. She punched me and sent me flying into the wall. Fuck. What are you doing? Jiyoshi said fiercely. I remember you. You're the man who exposed me. I didn't care about the nosebleed gushing out. What do you mean by exposing you? But remember, I'm the one who saved you. Nonsense. Shameless scoundrel. It was clearly that kind and friendly silly older sister who saved me. She is me. I'm in disguise. I don't believe a ghost. Stay away from me. Fine, you don't believe me, huh? I'll show her with my shape-shifting Dan again. Keep your eyes wide open. I'll pour the pill directly into my mouth. Then my body shuddered. Next, my hair began to grow longer. Adam's apple disappeared. Have you seen it? This is called a master of cross-dressing. If you still don't believe, you can use a blood contract to verify it again. Jiyoshi, who saw this, was already full of surprise. Are you a man? She originally fantasized about all the beauty of her silly sister. At this moment, everything was shattered. Jiyoshi, who was devastated, cried out, You pervert! Give me back my kind big sister! Disgusting stinky man! I seem to understand something from being scolded. Wait a moment. You wouldn't happen to like women, would you? Jiyoshi said solemnly. I like women. What's it to you? This statement makes my nose bleed again. I can't take it anymore. Do you have any manners? I am your life-saving benefactor. Or your master. You didn't even say thank you and you hit and scold me. White-eyed wolf. It serves you right that they want to take you to Repentance Valley. I really am so kind to save you. After all my reprimand, Jiyoshi begins to feel wronged. Then she burst into tears with a sniffle. Now I was at a loss as to what to do. The system spoke up. Host. She's just a girl. Your words are too harsh. You should say something nice to comfort her. I can't do it. Do you all still remember this move? I immediately started to cry with tears in my eyes. I said very sorrowfully, Why are you crying? It's as if I bullied you. You cry after a few words from me. If you scold me, I would feel wronged. I worked so hard to save you. Just because you like women, you have to be treated like that. After all my efforts. Jiyoshi was also stunned. Then I burst into tears. She quickly apologized to me. She asked me not to cry. That's right. It wasn't my fault in the first place. Why should I have to coax her? Jiyoshi said anxiously. I was too rude. Please don't cry, okay? I transformed in an instant. Okay. Jiyoshi thoroughly realized that she had been played. This man. He could actually use showing weakness and tears better than me. I smiled and said, Let's talk about serious matters. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Chu Skylight, and I aim to enter the Sacred Moon Academy through the enrollment conference. I hope you can be with me. You can assist me through the blood contract. I need your power. During this period, I will protect your identity and safety. Jiyoshi snorted coldly. Protect me? I'm Seductive Fox, and I have you by my side. Aren't you afraid I might turn against you? I asked her back. Would you do that? Every race has good people and scoundrels. I won't blame all the faults of Seductive Fox on you alone. We will have enough time to understand each other. What kind of person are you? I will use my eyes to see, not my ears to hear. My words deeply touched Jiyoshi, who has always been hostile towards humans. I haven't finished yet. if you don't want to go with me, it's okay. She expressed willingness to go with me. She said she had nowhere else to go anyway. I just have one request. I curiously asked her what it was. She said seriously with starry eyes, "Can you always wear women's clothing?" Me? You must be dreaming. In the end, I still cross-dressed. I sat angrily on the ground waiting for her to change clothes. This little rascal really pushed my buttons. He really thought I had a cross-dressing fetish. The system says, "Host, you're amazing. Your cross-dressing looks great. Use cross-dressing to conquer her." I immediately raised the internationally recognized gesture. Get lost. Watching the excitement without considering the consequences. You don't seem like a serious robot at all. Who would have thought, the system replied. Who told you I am a robot? I am a human. He then told me about his past. It turns out that before becoming a system, he was a human from another world. Just that for some reason, the world collapsed. Then Mastermind found him and made a deal with him. As long as he became a system and cultivated a Mary Sue dragon that surpassed all Mary Sue dragons, Mastermind would reconstruct his world and let him return. So he became a system. His previous memories were sealed, but he still remembered that there was someone very important waiting for him to return to her side. So he studied desperately. He also received the honor of the excellent progressive system. Then, he was entrusted with an important task by Mastermind and came to this world. Unfortunately, he encountered me. Me? Are you looking down on me? I immediately felt unhappy. You keep assigning me difficult tasks. Fighting also can't help. Are you embarrassed to look down on me? He hurriedly held me down and explained, saying that although he is indeed very weak now, it's really not his fault. He said this is just according to common sense. The system arrived in a new world. It will connect to the heavenly Tao as soon as possible, which is the law of the world. The system can enhance your protagonist's aura by intervening in the heavenly Tao and providing various system props. However, after being here for so long, he has not been able to sense the heavenly Tao. A world without law should be a chaotic place. However, this world operates in an orderly manner, which is very strange. Alright then. I just heard of this. You can go ask that Mastermind about it. He said he had already reported it. The Mastermind should have a response soon. He also told me not to worry. As long as we work hard to complete the task, everything will be fine. Oh! I didn't expect the world to collapse. We have to be pulled out and exploited. This system is not easy either. I said I'll try to cooperate with you in the future and let you go home early. He thanked me very happily. I also didn't notice a figure eavesdropping behind a tree. After I left, she also quickly left. My system turned out to be a human being. Just as he was telling me about his past, there was a person eavesdropping behind the tree. I returned to this side of the inn. Little Green greeted Moran with a smile. You're back, she said, and then asked Moran where Little Chu, Junior's sister, had gone. Moran thought of a prepared excuse and said, Little Chu wanted to go home for a visit, so I escorted her out of town. Little Green, feeling a bit worried, asked, Is she safe on her own? Moran replied, It's okay. I have already given her a protective amulet. Little Green said, trying to please, You are so kind to ordinary junior sisters, Moran. You are really gentle. Snow Moran, on the other hand, seems a little lonely. It's just returning a favor. Jialan Imperial City a few days later. I just walked through the city gate with Yoshi. I saw someone performing acrobatics. I am so excited to see the sugar-coated Haws. Look over there. Jialan Imperial City a few days later. I just walked through the city gate with Yoshi. I saw someone performing acrobatics. I am so excited to see the sugar-coated Haws. Look over there. Acrobatics. Yoshi, on the other hand, looks disdainful. Is this your first time in the city? Acting all surprised and excited. Yes, this is my first time in the city. Why are you covering up so tightly? She said she's just used to it. She feels unsafe when she shows her face in such situations. And many cultivators will come to the enrollment meeting. I am afraid. I took off her hood in one go. Scared her with a scream. I said that you concealed your breath and easily changed your form. You're afraid of nothing. She covered her head and screamed loudly. I said, "What are you yelling for? Do you have the courage to hit me back now?" And then I said to her, "Even if someone recognizes you as seductive fox, you are still my blood contract spiritual beast. Even if the sky falls, I will support you. No one can touch you. In the future, walk with your head high and chest out in the sunlight. Understand?" Her eyes were a little moist after hearing these words. She hadn't been cared for like this by anyone for many years. However, she still shyly turned her head. With a tough tone, she said, "I don't need a man to educate me. I'm used to it." I grabbed her hand and ran towards the registration desk. In no time, we arrived at the registration desk. I pulled Joshi over. "Hello. We would like to register." Then the person handed us a form. Then he took out the application requirements. I took a look. I just met the requirements. After I filled out the form, another person led us to a teleport formation. He told us that this leads to the waiting hall for the exam. Let's go there and wait. I reached out and tested it first. After confirming it was safe, I walked in. What came into view was a huge space, bustling with cultivators. And above, the huge characters for Examination Hall can be seen. I not only saved the seductive fox Joshi, who was spurned by 10,000 people, I also brought her to participate in the assessment of the Sacred Moon Academy. There are really a lot of people in this waiting area for the assessment. However, what are those mysterious floating blocks above? The system explains to me. Those are mythic realm spaces. It's like your test questions. You will randomly be selected to enter one of the mythic realms. Just as the system finished speaking, a voice came from behind. A person in a Taoist robe entered this space. "All candidates. I am your guide. The number of applicants for the Infinite Academy looming today is full. Be prepared. The exam will begin shortly. Next, I will announce the basic exam rules. In the Mythic Realm assessment, food and Dan pill are not allowed, but everything else is unrestricted. Please voluntarily hand over prohibited items. They will be returned to you after the exam." I secretly rejoiced that luckily I finished eating the candied haws. Next to me, a young man looked reluctant and handed in the large steamed bun his mother made. Lu Ming continued, saying that in the Mythic Realm, the longer you survive, the higher your score. Passing is achieved after lasting more than 7 days. There are no restrictions on the behavior of examinees. Upon hearing that there are no restrictions, Joshi asked, "What if I commit murder?" I quickly rebuked her audacious idea. Lu Ming then told us that the soul spirit suspended around us each decides the mythic realm you will go to after choosing and encountering a life-threatening situation. The soul spirit can save your life and bring you out of the examination room. I randomly grabbed one and then heard someone nearby say something. It is said that the difficulty is very high this year. Someone said to a red-haired man, "Brother Stone is outstanding among us. If we are assigned to the same mythic realm, I hope Brother Stone will take care of us more." The man responded modestly. I was curious about who this was. Joshi just mentioned it. The person turned out to be Stone Zhuojialan, one of the 4 major families. He is the second son of the Stone family. I curiously asked how you know him. Joshi said that this person is really famous. You actually don't know? When he awakens, his soul power can condense into a real sword called the Lightning Sword. When I heard this, I was shocked. Soul power condensed into a physical form. Isn't that something only martial grandmasters can do? Joshi said that geniuses cannot be judged by common sense. Now, he is a seated player for this year's 4 Stars Martial Master. I am impressed. He is really amazing. Host. You are the strongest. You cannot lose to him. Damn it. You scared me to death. I haven't recovered yet, and the system has started to release a damn task. Please take the lead in completing the task. Break the historical record of surviving in Mythic Realm. You are an unprecedented Mary Sue dragon. I fucking knew it. I asked how long the historical record was. The system told me 17 days. I was immediately unhappy. 17 days. I might as well settle down in there. The system told me time passes quickly in Mythic Realm. 15 days are equivalent to half an hour outside. It won't delay anything. Just then, Jiyoshi said Mythic Realm is about to open. If we don't enter together, what if they find out my identity? I thought so too. Should we both get caught together? So the two of us, I grabbed a tuft of her hair, and she grabbed onto my belt in a weird position, getting caught together. I took Jiyoshi to participate in the Sacred Moon Academy assessment. Unexpectedly, something happened. I held onto her fur tightly. She held onto my belt tightly, waiting for the Mythic Realm to open. Lu Ming said very seriously, "All candidates." 100 years ago, during the end of the era of decline, evil demons invaded, causing great suffering to all living beings. The immortal cultivation world was on the brink of destruction. However, our ancestors persevered, repairing the spiritual veins and driving away the evil demons, leading to the prosperity we see today. These mythic realms still retain the appearance of the disastrous period. I hope everyone will inherit the will of our ancestors, tempering their body and mind inside them, breaking through themselves. Then, join your hands together, shout out loudly. Examination room. Open! Then the entire space began to shake. The soul spirit and hand started to transform. The soul spirit leads us into various different mythic realms. Not long after, Jiyoshi opened her eyes. She was still tightly gripping onto my belt, but I was already gone. She paused for a moment, feeling a sudden headache. It turned out that a chunk of her hair was pulled out by me. She couldn't help but curse. My hair! That jerk pulled so hard, yet it still came apart. She looked up and found many people there. She heard a woman saying, "This should be Calmwater Domain in Shadowmire." They also noticed that the awakened woman Jiyoshi was walking towards them and kindly said, "Little sister, you're awake. You seem a bit dizzy from the teleportation. Are you okay?" But Jiyoshi's attention was not on the woman at all. She looked in alarm at the red-haired man. "Stone! Stone Jwawu!" she screamed in her heart. "Help! Why did I bump into him? My identity will be exposed. Chu Skylight! Where are you?" Meanwhile, on my end, I am standing in an empty area with nobody around. The wind is blowing, and my butt feels cold. In my hand remains a wisp of Jiyoshi's hair. I couldn't help but have a headache. What the hell is this? At this moment, suddenly there was an attack from behind by Ba Jie. Pay attention. This man is farming in the immortal cultivation world, and no one can stop him. Jiyoshi and I were eventually separated by the teleportation. I even lost my belt because of this. I bent over to pull up my pants. This action actually helped me avoid Ba Jie's sneak attack from behind. Then I used a donkey kick to kick it in the neck. Ba Jie was knocked down by my kick. I looked at its head buried deep in the ground in silence. What a thing. So weak yet still attempting a sneak attack. The system told me that it is a swamp imp, and informed me that this mythic realm is called Shadowmire. From the terrain, it seems like Mirefog Plain, where all the mist is poisonous. But I am completely immune. I mentioned that Little Fox is also in this mythic realm, and I have already sensed her. The system was saying that we should first find some food to ensure survival time. Just then, I discovered something. The system asked me what was wrong. I carefully observed the land. This land is really fertile. The system sensed that something was wrong. I directly pulled out my hoe from the ring. I also exclaimed, "I've never seen such fertile soil before. I feel sorry for the land if I don't cultivate it. I can't control myself anymore." The system quickly advised me, "You are a genius. Do you farm in Mythic Realm? Cool down. Plant now. By the time things grow, you'll starve to death. I completely ignored his obstruction, because now I only have the land in my eyes. I want to farm. I said it's okay. I have developed quick-growing seeds and land-reclaiming fertilizers. With the help of soul power for ripening, it will bear fruit in 3 days. I can grow crops. Not to mention 17 days, even a year is not a problem. I wield my hoe, and I'm ready to get to work. The system is pulling my hair and shouting loudly, saying, "No! You're here to show off, not to farm. Stop it now!" I have found the true essence of life in Mythic Realm. That is farming, then. Meanwhile, Joshi is looking at the mushrooms in his hand with a lifeless expression. Because Stone Zhuowu is standing beside him, she is being very cautious, afraid of revealing her identity. The blue-haired woman walked over at this moment. "How did your digging go?" Stone Zhuowu picked up the mushroom and said, "Only this basket." Joshi thought to himself, "This Stone Zhuowu is nothing like what I imagined. I thought he would be an arrogant guy, but turns out he speaks very little and listens to his sister, Water Shaoling, a lot." Another person walked over and asked, "How much did you all dig up?" After seeing just one basket, he turned around and said, "This is not enough. Follow me, everyone. I am a re-examinee and know where the food is." Then, the group followed the re-examinee to the location he mentioned. Joshi thought to himself, "Where are we going?" Suddenly, her foot slipped. She stepped on something. She lifted her foot and took a look. This is... shit! She shouted that she stepped on poop. Then she vigorously rubbed it against the tree. Water Shaoling also noticed. There is a lot of feces on the ground. Then she shouted to the retaker, "Where are you now?" The person smirked ominously. Trading a teleport talisman for a Stone Zhuowu elimination is still a good deal. Then he used the teleport talisman to leave the place. The group then discovered that the trees around them were all full of monsters they were already surrounded. Water Shaoling looked displeased. This is the Swamp Imp's nest. They actually dared to be sly towards the Stone family. After the exam, I will definitely investigate who gave him the courage. Then she said to Stone Zhuowu, "Zhuowu, you are too famous. You have attracted attention." Stone Zhuowu coldly snorted. A renowned hero will always be envied by the small-minded. I have long been prepared for this kind of framing. Let my lightning sword before finishing this sentence. He was met with a kick in the face from the Swamp Imp. Then he was pinned to the ground and beaten up, with his mouth still shouting, "You Swamp Imp are not playing fair." Let me finish my lines. Joshi looked on in astonishment. Is this the lighting sword?" Water Shaoling sees the situation. A blue light ball appears in the center of both hands. Then it transforms into a huge barrier. The Swamp Imp is isolated outside. The Swamp Imp, whose spiritual intelligence was not high to begin with, cannot make any progress. Then she turned around and said to Stone Zhuowu lying on the ground, "Zhuowu told you to read fewer novels usually. When fighting, if you can use your hands, don't waste words. I'm having a great time farming in Mythic Realm. I sow the seeds, bury them in the soil, water them, and finally, I just have to wait for my little seeds to grow strong." The system looks on speechlessly. The water was so hard to come by, and you just poured it like that. Don't worry. This is the fast-growing watermelon I cultivated. With it, there is no need to worry about water shortage. Then I happily named each seed. This is the life I long for. The system on the side commented sarcastically, "So disgusting. Needing to name each vegetable seed." I took out an axe from the ring and said to him, "Do you understand this? This is romance. You, someone who is detached from the world and trapped in the cycle of inner turmoil, definitely won't understand." Then I started chopping trees. The system asked me, "Why are you chopping trees?" Of course, to build a house. To make fences. The system was bewildered. "Building a house?" I said. Of course. After building a good house, I can also go hunting. Life is so pleasant. Upon hearing this, the system went crazy. I can't stand it. Mastermind, I want to go home. While I was working hard, a crow flew over my head. The crow circled for a while, before spreading its wings and flying away. The crow landed in Blackmire City constructed by the swamp imps, transforming into a human form upon landing. Kneeling down, it spoke to the person sitting at the center, saying, "My lord, I have returned." The person asked, "How is Swamp Raven?" Swamp Raven replied, "According to our investigation, there are a total of 57 humans in Mirefog Plain. Most of them are isolated and vulnerable. Afflicted by swamp poison, they probably won't last much longer. But one person seems unaffected by the swamp poison. He is currently at the border of Mythic Realm, farming." Upon hearing this, the king remained speechless for a moment. Then, holding his aching head, he said, "In previous years, the humans coming in to dig for treasures, beg, or seek companionship were already quite unusual. I didn't expect that this year, another talented individual would appear to farm here." Then he ordered his subordinates, "Forget it, they are all just small fries. Lead a team of elite swamp imps to clear out the irrelevant humans. After all, our target is only that stone Zhuowu, the one that the swamp imps are focusing on." A few people are brainstorming strategies inside the protective barrier. The low-level swamp imp suddenly shouted out the name of Stone Zhuowu. Water Shaoling was surprised. How could the swamp imps know Zhuowu's name? Then she said to the group, "Everyone, my soul power domain is not stable and can only be temporarily opened." Jiyoshi, upon hearing this, thought, "Isn't the soul power domain a skill that only Grand Martial Masters can use? This sister is already a Grand Martial Master? She's really a genius." Water Shaoling didn't notice Jiyoshi's shock. She continued, "These swamp imps are not very high level. Let's just charge out. I'm a medic, so don't worry about getting hurt." Then she asked Stone Zhuowu to lead the way. He smiled as if he had been waiting for this moment for a long time. Then his hands began to gather golden soul power, and he said, "I won't talk about morality anymore when dealing with you immoral evil demons. My sword, come with the light." With that, he finished his lines. 2 golden beams shot out from his hands and into the group of swamp imps. Then his veins bulged. Activated the Russian roulette-style attack, due to the speed being too fast. His expression became blurry. And Jiyoshi and the others had to jump rope for half a day to avoid the beams he released. Water Shaoling must have been tired from jumping. He said to him, "Zhuowu, rush out. Don't consume too much energy here." The beam in Stone Zhuowu's hand dissipated. "Rush out. No problem." He suddenly burst out. He dashed out at an extremely fast speed, actually using his body to charge straight at the group of swamp imps. The group of swamp imps was knocked over by his impact, falling on their backs. Water Shaoling seems to have seen this kind of scene many times. Calmly, she said to the dumbfounded pair, "Let's go! We'll follow them." Jiyoshi looked at the chaotic swarm of swamp imps in front of her. This is too exaggerated. And then several people followed Stone Zhuowu, moving forward smoothly. They rushed out for several kilometers. Stone Zhuowu showed no sign of stopping at all. Water Shaoling quickly grabbed him. "Zhuowu, we have run out. Let's take a break." Finally, she made him stop. Several people were exhausted just from running along. This genius indeed cannot be judged by common sense. Water Shaoling was still thinking about the sound made by the swamp imp. Why would the swamp imp in Mythic Realm know Zhuowu? Could it be that someone plotting against us is colluding with the swamp imp? It's impossible, right? On the other side, outside the small hut I just built, the figure of the swamp imp appeared. The leader among them said, "Yes, that's the human who is planting crops. He is the most romantic male lead I have ever seen. He named each vegetable as if they were his children, carefully nurturing them. Because the vegetables were destroyed. He actually wanted to destroy the entire mountain village. Not far from the house, There was a simple trap made of bricks, waiting for prey to take the bait. Before long, a fat old mouse was lured by the mushrooms. The brick came down, and the fat old mouse was squashed flat with a squeak. I happily picked up the prey. Mouse pancake. I bounced home. Caught a little field mouse. Going to stew soup at home. The system has been really mute these days. When one speechless meets another, you know you're officially out of words. I advised the system. Brother system, stop looking so gloomy. Anyway, as long as you survive long enough, it's all good. I am farming and living day by day, which is also quite nice. Look, my bok choy is almost ready. But what came into view was a scene of devastation. Smashed watermelons scattered all over the ground, and vegetables trampled. My expression changed immediately. Who on earth has destroyed my children? I looked up and noticed a few arrogant swamp imps sitting in my yard, shaking their legs. "Oh, you are back?" they said to me. Seeing me silent, the leader among them said, "Look at how useless he looks, scared silly." A tear rolled down my cheek. One swamp imp, who didn't know better, even dared to walk up and keep blabbering about how vibrant my vegetables looked. I couldn't bear it any longer. I went up and gave him a slap. I kept slapping him until he spun around in circles non-stop. The leader saw me make a move. His face turned dark as he said, "Damn! Do you dare to hit me? Brothers, kill him for me." He commanded all the remaining swamp imps to charge at me. But my figure suddenly disappeared. The speed was so fast that they couldn't catch it at all. I directly unleashed the Thunderbolt 5-whip strike to instantly take out several little mooks. Then I flew and landed in front of the leading swamp imp. The ground was smashed by me. The swamp imp was sweating profusely. How is this possible? You are just a martial master." Holding back my tears and sorrow, I asked him, "Why did you have to ruin my dishes? If he doesn't speak, I'll kick him. I'll kick him directly into the ground. Speak. Why did you have to ruin my dishes?" He was scared. He shouted in a hurry, "Mercy, hero! The king of Blackmire's stronghold ordered me to kill you. There is a reason for everything. You can talk to our king if you have any issues." Just as he finished speaking, I immediately stomped him into the ground with one foot. He was left with only his head outside, foaming at the mouth, before passing out. Now my vegetable garden is filled with swamp imps, and I stand there with a face full of sorrow. The system knows I am really angry. It cautiously calls out to me. I directly summon the battle puppet. I command the battle puppet to switch to War God Arm mode. The battle puppet behind me slowly transforms into wisps of soul power and merges with my arms. After a moment, my arms are burning with the flames of the battle puppet, looking extremely imposing. Dangerous light gleamed in my eyes. Blackmire's stronghold. Prepare to die? An old farmer full of love, devoting all his love to nurturing the children. They were damaged by a group of swamp imps. The results can be imagined. On the other side, Stone Chuwu and his team. They just killed another swamp imp blocking their way. Even the powerful Stone Chuwu is a bit embarrassed. In the past few days, there have been more and more swamp imp attacks on us. This is already the 5th wave. Water Shaoling also noticed that something is wrong. She thought, their levels are not high, and their killing intent is not strong. It seems more like they are deliberately trying to deplete our resources. The supplies are also very limited. This is not good if it continues like this. Stone Chuwu asked, "Is there any food left?" Water Shaoling looked at the basket and saw only a little bit of mushrooms left. "Let's try hunting later." Jiushi was not very worried. She thought to herself that it was fortunate that she had often gone hungry in the past. This level of hardship was nothing to her. With the assistance of the blood contract, she could hold out for a long time even without eating or drinking. The closer to Myrefog Plain, the stronger the response from the blood contract. Is Chu Skylight over there? Just as she thought about it, the blood contract on her neck suddenly began to glow and feel hot. Then she felt her strength starting to drain. What's going on? Could Chu Skylight be in danger? And on our side, the old farmer's 2 arms are burning with flames, like a war god descending to earth. He single-handedly battles hundreds of swamp imps. At this moment, he seems to have transformed into One-Punch Man. No one can withstand a single move from him. And so, he rampaged through Blackmire's stronghold. Unstoppable. Those swamp imps gritted their teeth as well, glowering fiercely at our angry old farmer. A swamp imp snuck up from behind and bit into the old farmer's shoulder. The old farmer gave it a fierce look and then he opened his mouth wide and bit down on the head of the swamp imp. "You can even bite people!" Then an angry old farmer appeared, gnashing his teeth. He chased after a swamp imp with blood pouring from its head, running for its life. Suddenly, a purple light attacked from above. Our old farmer also noticed it. Then he disdainfully smashed the attack with a punch. At this moment, a voice came over. Impressive skills. You should also have reached the level of half-step martial grandmaster. Unfortunately, your majesty is now a middle-grade celestial beast. You are only at the level of... The sentence wasn't fully spoken. Its face then met an angry punch from our old farmer. The punch sent it directly a kilometer away, smashing through several walls along the way. In the end, it landed on a wall, looking incredulous. How could this be? Such speed and power. Are you really at the martial lord stage? Our old farmer reached out and grabbed its head. You are the king of Blackmire's stronghold, right? Then he raised his fist. This punch is all whites. One punch after another. This one is little Cece's. Big yellows. Zhuangers. The group of little swamp imps were watching from the side. One by one, they didn't dare to approach. Some of them covered their eyes in fear. The king, who was beaten up by a barrage of punches, was almost losing consciousness. However, the angry old farmer was still not satisfied. Get up. It was just a few punches. You are not allowed to pass out. I threatened fiercely. Remember this. You can mess with me, but you can't mess with my vegetables. Then I took out a pile of debris. Now, you apologize to their remains for me. The angry old farmer caught the swamp overlord. He beat up the overlord and then made it apologize for the wreckage of watermelons and cabbages. Swamp overlord is confused. Apologize? Apologize to the rotten vegetable leaves? It stood still when encountering us country folks, and we hit it right on the head. It quickly said sorry. The old farmer heard it with no sincerity. He began to apply pressure, cracking his knuckles. You do not respect my hard work, ordering others to maliciously destroy farmland. Ruining my vegetables. You are still so perfunctory now. Seems like you haven't been beaten up properly yet? The swamp overlord was so frightened that he hastily bowed to the vegetable wreckage. Grandpa Veggie, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. The old farmer coldly snorted in satisfaction. Then he turned to the swamp imps watching the scene, and they were so scared that they broke out in cold sweat. The old farmer shouted at them. What are you standing there for? Come over and apologize to me. Then the entire Blackmire resounded with apology cries for our deceased Grandpa Veggie. I must say, these are the most dignified vegetables and fruits I have ever seen. The old farmer seemed to feel as if he had completed a mission, thinking to himself, Ah, White Schwanger, I have avenged you. Then, with my hands clasped together, I said devoutly, Have a safe journey. However, suddenly I felt a weak soul power fluctuation beneath my feet. I grabbed the swamp overlord's little braid and asked, What is under stronghold? The swamp overlord wore an expression as if he had nothing to hide and said, There's nothing there. The dishonest swamp overlord received a big slap from the old farmer directly. It covered its face and cried out, Below stronghold is a cellar. There are some food stored inside. There is really nothing else. I smirked. Is that so? Then I don't believe you. Take me down to see it. Then Swamp Overlord led me down a very long staircase. I couldn't help but comment, "Are you guys groundhogs or swamp imps? You're quite good at digging." When we reached the bottom, there was indeed a lot of food. Swamp Overlord said, "You see, it's just some food. Nothing to hide." I then frowned and retorted, "Nothing to hide? I beg to differ." And then my golden eyes appeared. I stomped heavily on the ground enveloped in soul power. Many formations faintly appeared on the walls of the warehouse. I said to Swamp Overlord, "You are quite cautious, even using hiding formations to deceive others." Swamp Overlord was discovered despite his best efforts to hide, and he was trembling in fear. I, on the other hand, was excitedly tearing open the formation that you had concealed so tightly. "Let me see what treasures you have hidden." What came into view was a group of women tied up. They all looked towards me when they saw someone break the formation. Oh my! Why is it a group of women? A girl with purple hair asked me, "Are you a candidate too? Can you help us? We were ambushed by swamp imps in the swamp poison at the beginning of the game. They killed all the male candidates and imprisoned us here." The system shouted and ran out. I understand. You want to save her from the harem, right? I will help her." But the system said, "No. Might as well take them all in." "Oh no. You are a human now? Taking advantage of someone's peril like this?" The purple-haired girl said to me, "Can you please save my family's prince first? He is Jialan royal family's third princess, Bluka. After being poisoned, he developed a high fever. If you could help, there will be a great reward." I looked at the woman whose face was flushed from the fever. I actually met someone from the royal family here. Have you ever seen an overlord who was tied up because of wasting watermelon and vegetables? Underneath the wooden stick with "Shame Pole" written on it was our once mighty swamp overlord with a sign hanging around him that read, "Kidnapping women. Wasting crops. Scumbag." He was hung beneath the gates of Blackmire Stronghold. And in Swamp Imp Stronghold, all the kidnapped women were rescued by me. The purple-haired girl carefully carried the princess over as well. Then she told me that ever since the princess was poisoned by swamp poison, she has had a continuous high fever and has been in a coma. She intended to activate the soul spirit to transport her out, but it seems that the soul spirit has malfunctioned. I carefully examined and said to them, "The princess's symptoms may be related to swamp poison." I analyzed the swamp poison and found that it is produced by the droppings of the swamp imps. When they heard the word droppings, their expressions all changed. I explained to them that swamp imps like to defecate anywhere. Although their feces don't have a strong smell, they easily produce marsh gas. The marsh gas dissolves in the mist over the plains, creating swamp poison. The princess probably hasn't stayed in such a harsh environment before. That's why she fainted from the fumes. The group of people were sweating profusely, thinking, "This sounds ridiculous." But it actually makes a lot of sense. The girl with purple hair covered her head and asked, "Excuse me, how can the swamp poison be removed?" I said it's not difficult to detoxify. However, detoxifying in this environment is only treating the symptoms rather than the root cause. Little Purple asked anxiously, "Do we have to leave Mirefont Plain?" I replied, "It's not necessary to go to that trouble. I have a way to purify the swamp poison, and that is farming." Their expressions became complicated again. Farming? Yes. Since entering the mythic realm, I have been farming. I found that crops absorb marsh gas during their growth and release spiritual chi. If they are spiritual grass or spiritual herb, the purification effect will be doubled. I happen to have this secret weapon. Instant spiritual herb seeds. They can bear fruit in just 2 days. I will continue brainwashing them. To save the people, we have an obligation. I want to completely eliminate this swamp poison and create a bright future for the mythic realm. I hope all Daoist friends can help me. Let's plant together. I am trying my best to brainwash this group of girls. Let them realize their life dreams with me. Planting crops. But the system ran out. Host, I asked you to bring them into the harem, not to make them plant crops. I turned my head in disdain. The system really couldn't do anything about it. So it activated a new function and said to me, considering your negative attitude towards running the harem, we are now rolling out a brand new harem reward system. As long as you raise the favorability of the women in the task to the required level, you will have the chance to participate in the lucky draw. The rewards are generous. I am still not interested. I asked him with a frown. And you, what rewards do you have? He replied, for example, some farming tools, technology, and so on. Brother system. You are my dear big brother. I immediately got excited when I heard about farming tools and technology. Building rapport, right? No problem. Just you wait. Brother system nodded in satisfaction. At this time, the girl with purple hair asked, Dawa's friend, isn't it unrealistic to start farming? We haven't farmed before. And among us, we probably can't grow much, right? I took out a stack of basic farming introduction. No problem. These are agricultural books I wrote. Take a look first. Tomorrow you can see how I farm. They didn't expect me to be so professional. I said, as for the manpower, as long as we open up the situation. They were completely confused. And my goal is exactly that. They are now gathered at the entrance gate, watching their king being essentially bound up by the group of little swamp imps. Time flies. 10 days later. A figure appeared outside the stronghold. It is Stone Juwu and his party. After these days of rushing, they also look somewhat disheveled. But finally, they have arrived. Water Shaoling said with some confusion. The situation here is much better than I expected. The swamp poison is very sparse. There aren't many swamp imps either. Strange. Isn't the plain the highest difficulty area? Stoneswood responded. There's always something behind the unusual. I heard that there is a swamp overlord in the stronghold, who is close to the level of a martial grandmaster. We cannot take it lightly. He is leading the way. Let's go. Just be careful. I would like to see how powerful the most difficult Blackmire stronghold is in the mythic realm. But when they walked through the gates, several people were all stunned. Because what should catch your eye is a couplet. The first couplet, humans and demons unite in equality. The second couplet, hand in hand, building a beautiful sky. The horizontal banner reads, labor is honorable. And on the plaque of Blackmire stronghold, there are also 2 large red flowers hanging. On the grand wall of a demon stronghold, it is written, green mountains, clear waters are beautiful. Demon village must protect the environment. On the main gate, there are signs that say, labor is honorable, and welcome. This puzzled Stone Juwu and his companions who were ready to travel a long distance to kill monsters. They stood at the doorway unsure of what to do, their minds going blank. As they were lost in thought, a voice rang out. Do you wish to enter the stronghold? Several people looked over and saw a swamp imp with a polite expression and glasses. He said to them, hello. Welcome to the new Blackmire stronghold. I am the 10th receptionist, Imp Love Farm. Then it pushed up its glasses and took a closer look earnestly. It ran excitedly to Stone Juwu. Oh, are you Stone Juwu? I have seen your portrait before. It startled Stone Juwu, who wondered, what's going on with this swamp imp? Before Stone Juwu could say anything, Imp Love Farm enthusiastically grabbed his hand and said, we all know you. Come on in. Instructor Chu is also waiting for you. But this left them all confused. Stone Juwu, who hadn't figured out the situation, firmly refused to go in. He just stood there tugging with Imp Love Farm. Imp Love Farm still warmly said, come in and have a look. I won't harm you. As long as you work, you will have food. Many candidates have come to work in the fields with us. Just at this moment, the girl with purple hair happened to come out and noticed the situation here. She excitedly called out to them, young Master Stone? Miss Water? Is it really you? Meeting the purple-haired girl Water Shaoling, he also expressed his surprise. Hao Gung, Chief Guard. What's with this outfit of yours? Hao Gung even blushed a little and said, Teacher Chu said this is the uniform for researchers. It's a long story. Let's discuss it inside. It's safe here, Water Shaoling thought. Safe? And our smart Jiushi had a bad premonition. This Chu. Could it be the one I know? They then entered the stronghold. Promote civilized behavior. Cultivate new social norms. Prohibit public urination and defecation. Further ahead is diligent work. Swamp imps with straw hats. A swamp imp warmly greets people, wiping sweat and saying hello. Look at the honest and simple appearance. Our imp love farm lights up. Realizing the situation, they shout. Hey you! How come you're peeing everywhere again? The swamp imp quickly explains. I couldn't hold it. Then they rush up and scold the swamp imp. You really have no manners. You're ruining the public environment. The public restroom is right there. Have you forgotten Instructor Chu's teachings? Don't eat dinner tonight. Copy the Blackmire Stronghold Agricultural Ecological Environment Protection Regulations 100 times. Several people see this scene, their faces full of shock. It's simply subverting their worldview. Only our genius vision is different. So noble the swamp imp. When Hao Gung saw them, he smiled and asked them if they were quite surprised. At first, I didn't believe they could go on the right path. Teacher Chu said he wanted to conduct ideological education for the swamp imp. I still think it's unrealistic. She became more and more excited as she spoke. But the fact proves that we cannot discriminate against the swamp imp. Any race can be united, because we all aspire to the beautiful blue sky. Under the leadership of Teacher Chu, who possesses strength, wisdom, and charm, the humble swamp imp will surely be able to start anew. Several people stared blankly at the moment when Hao Gung, her dazzling figure, seemed to transform into light. Swamp Imp's new rural construction is quite effective. Just met Stonejuwu and a group of people coming. They warmly invited them to visit the achievements of the construction. After Hao Gung has promoted the advanced ideological concepts of Instructor Chu, she grabbed Water Shaoling, who was in a daze, and said, I will take you to meet the great Teacher Chu. Let's work together to build Blackmire's stronghold. The instructor's lounge is on the other side. A group of women is gathered around the instructor. Take a closer look. Our friendly instructor is painting a woman's nails. He also said, the more times you dye it, the brighter it will be. It will fade after a few days on your hands. The girl who finished was saying happily, so pretty. Others also cast admiring glances. They worshipped and said to the instructor, Teacher Chu, you're amazing. I can't even mix this color. Teacher Chu waved his hand. It's just a skill not worth mentioning. At this time, Brother System came out and said sarcastically, you really know a lot. I asked you to date them, not become sisters with them. You are the king of the harem, not a friend of women. I pulled out the favorability progress to show him. Look, this favorability progress has not fallen behind at all, right? Brother System went silent again. You are despicable. You're shameless. You are taking advantage of the system. I then gave him a sly look and said, that's well said. Say a little more. When Brother System was about to get angry and figure out a way to mess with me, Hao Gung then brought Stonejuwu and a few others over. He introduced them ceremoniously. This is Chu Skylight, Teacher Chu Jiushi. When Teacher Chu Jiushi saw me, his expression became blank. He thought to himself, oh my, it really is this guy. I was very happy to see Jiushi again. But before I could say hello, I noticed that something was wrong with Brother System. I turned around. Brother System has become unrecognizable. It's making a buzzing sound, like an old TV with no signal. I quickly asked, what's wrong with you, Brother System? Brother System said that his magnetic field has been affected by something. It should be inside Stonejuwu's body. Then he immediately rushed towards Stonejuwu. He pierced through Stonejuwu's chest. He took out a mysterious spherical object. It seems to be the source of the magnetic field. Brother System sees this and says, "My feelings were correct. This is the advanced system item Change of Fate." I heard it's a system item too. It's really surprising. Could it be Stonjwawu too? There are actually two people in this world who possess a system? The mysterious orb taken out by the Brother System in Stonjwawu's body is a system item. I asked doubtfully. Change of Fate? What is this? The Brother System indicates that it can seize other people's fortune and transfer it to the user of the item. It is an advanced item that can only be generated with the assistance of Heavenly Tao. Many Marisu dragons become children of fortune by using this. So what you're saying is that Stonjwawu has a system stronger than yours? The Brother System immediately refutes, saying, "Impossible. I cannot sense any system on him. If there were another system, I would have been repelled when I arrived and wouldn't have been able to enter this world at all. Besides, Stonjwawu is not a user of Change of Fate. He's the one who had his fortune taken away." I kept looking at Stonjwawu in confusion, which also puzzled the others. How Gum called me strangely as well. I think I understand now. Since you didn't notice anything unusual about him before the exam, it must have been after entering the mythic realm that someone bestowed Change of Fate upon him. I'll go and inquire about the situation. So, I took a step forward. "Young Master Stone, nice to meet you." Stonjwawu was a bit shy and excited as he clasped his hands and said to me, "Mr. Chu, nice to meet you." As he spoke, he even turned into starry eyes. "I have already heard Chief Guard Hao mention about your arrival. I greatly admire you. For saving all the creatures in Blackmire, leading everyone to farm and purify the swamp poison is truly wise, benevolent, and virtuous. And it's not over yet." He became more and more excited as he spoke, his eyes filled with admiration. He continued excitedly, expressing his admiration. "In contrast, I only care about whether I can pass the exam. In terms of breadth of mind or vision, I am not 1,000th of you." Why is he so enthusiastic? It's making me scared. What's the deal with this Stonjwawu? I quickly looked at Jiyoshi with a questioning expression. She understood and said to me informally, "He is a fool." "Oh no! I was wondering why he is so easily fooled. Fools are the best. I love fools the most." So I approached, excitedly shaking his hand. "Young Master Stone is too modest. I just did what anyone with chivalrous intentions would do. You and I are both kindred spirits. Shall we address each other as brothers from now on?" Stonjwawu excitedly replied, "Really? That would be even better." After building a closer relationship, I changed the subject. "By the way, Brother Stone, have you encountered anything interesting before? Could you tell me more about it in detail? I captured the king of Blackmire stronghold. I wanted to know its purpose and plans. Then I found out that you are its main target." Hello everyone. Hello guide. Hello guests. I am Empress Chu, the former king of Blackmire stronghold. I sat in the first seat and said to him, "No need for formalities. Just tell them about your experiences." Empress Chu respectfully agreed. Then it pushed its fluorescent fantasy sea blue manicure up its glasses and said, "As you all know, Mythic Realm only opens the transmission channel during exams. There is no way to contact the outside world at other times. However, 2 months before the exam started, someone entered my dream." Upon hearing this, Stonjwawu and the others were all shocked. Empress Chu continued speaking. "Although I couldn't see his face clearly, I could feel his extraordinary power. He asked me to do things for him in the Mythic Realm. I didn't believe it at first, but he instantly elevated my level from Grandmaster stage to 2 stars Martial Grandmaster and promised to release us from the Mythic Realm after the task was completed. After the demon race was defeated, we have been trapped in this Mythic Realm for 100 years. The temptation was too great. I agreed to his offer. He first asked me to capture some noble women and lock them up. That was easy to do. I just went straight to the people influenced by the swamp poison. And then he said to catch Stone Zhuowu. He said to make Stone Zhuowu suffer, but not take his life. Make him wish for death. Stone Zhuowu broke out in a cold sweat upon hearing this. Water Shilling's expression also grew increasingly serious. Then Water Shilling chuckled and said, "You're really brave." Startled, Empress Spec Chu hurried to explain, "My communication is blocked. I just want to complete the mission and leave. So, I understand now. This is also a fool who was fooled into being used as a gun." Brother System also said that it seems his sudden rise in level should be the result of some kind of system item. The weaker the host, the better the effect of change of fate. That mysterious person wants to accelerate looting through Swamp Imp. But where did he get the system items from? I am obviously the only system in this world. Yes, that's right. I'm giving you a thumbs up. You are uniquely incompetent. During my confrontation with Brother System, Water Shilling said something important. She said, "Now it seems that the mysterious person who caused us trouble at the re-examination is the same person, right?" I asked in confusion. "Re-examination?" Water Shilling said, "Yes, I remember that person. He had a face full of freckles, unlike the stronghold outside at the moment. The freckles are right here." Beside it was a shiny golden scroll floating. He looked at the rejuvenated Blackmire stronghold and muttered to himself, "What's going on with this Blackmire? Stone Zhuowu went in, and I lost contact with Change of Fate. I was thinking of having the Swamp Imp kidnap the princess. Then I'll go in and save her, becoming a hero. I'll have both fortune and fame in my hands. But look at the current appearance of Blackmire now." He turned and said to the scroll, "Give me a disguise prop. We'll sneak in and take a look." Then a mysterious sphere appeared from the scroll. I threw the pen. Ah! Water Shilling sketched the mysterious figure. I could hear the sound of Stone Zhuowu sketching lifelike. I stared blankly at this artistic photograph. That's the school of this painting. I would like to call her the Picasso of the immortal cultivation world. I am currently holding a painting for study. They were calling me Instructor Chu. There are some new candidates outside. They are very resistant to the Swamp Imp. Can you go and do some ideological work? Underneath our sign that says, "Labor is honorable. Imp Love Farm," and Imp Respect Chu are anxiously persuading someone. "Girl, we have all turned over a new leaf. We won't hurt you." That person is the mysterious one who used disguise props. He has actually turned into a woman, screaming and putting on an act. I don't believe your nonsense. My companion was killed by the Swamp Imp, planting crops together with the Swamp Imp. Are you guys crazy? There must be some conspiracy at Blackmire Stronghold, trying to catch us all. Just as he was causing trouble, a voice came. Where is the conspiracy coming from? This is called mutual benefit. The Imp Love Farm turned back in surprise. Instructor Chu. I brought Joshi and a few others here. Holding his arm, I said to him, "If you don't want to plant, just leave. The Swamp Imp won't bother you. Stop standing in front of the stronghold gate and talking nonsense all the time. It affects our internal unity." Of course. If there are any conflicts among everyone, you can report them to me in a timely manner. Love Farm hugs the students affectionately. No conflicts. We are getting along very well. The male student who came with that mysterious person raised his hand and said, Can I go in and farm? Just give me food. I'm not with her. I originally wanted to go to Blackmire Stronghold." Love Farm warmly reached out and held his hand, saying, "Of course. Welcome, welcome." Seeing this situation, the man felt helpless. This Blackmire Stronghold is really out of line. Can't even pick up the human-demon conflict. It seems to be related to this Chu person. I have to sneak in first to figure out the situation before saying anything. Then he approached me and said, I misunderstood just now. Can I join now?" I replied nonchalantly, "If you want to join, then go ahead." Brother System ran out and told me that he is the mysterious person. He used a prop for disguise. Brother System is temporarily unable to remove his prop. I said, "Don't worry. Let's not act yet. Don't startle the snake by hitting the grass. I've recognized him a long time ago." Typically, candidates are too hungry and weak by this point. Only he can still cause trouble. It seems like he has assistance from the system. He is living quite a comfortable life. Let him in, and keep an eye on him. I want to see what tricks he is up to. Love Farm now has pure thoughts. Of course, it's great to feel that someone can integrate into the big family of Blackmire Stronghold. Enthusiastically take that Freckle to the female dormitory. Let him rest well. Before leaving, I also told him, "The Swamp Imp in Stronghold has been guided on the right path by Instructor Chu. So please trust us. Let's build a beautiful blue sky together." After hearing this, Freckle broke out in a cold sweat. Luckily, Love Farm has retreated. He quickly waved goodbye to Love Farm and thought to himself, "Is this stronghold mad?" Then, after making sure no one was around, he took out the scroll and asked, "Who is Chu Skylight? Have you found out his background?" The scroll responded, "I have found no information on this person. He is probably just a nobody." Then, he Freckled asked the scroll for a charm item. Both top and bottom of this Blackmire stronghold are under his watchful eye. To take control of the situation, I must first control him. This disguise is not bad. Plus, with charm, I don't believe he won't fall for it. Night is approaching quickly. In the room where Princess Jia Lan was resting, I checked her condition as usual. Her complexion has improved significantly. I told Hao Gung, "The concentration of swamp poison has decreased a lot. Look at her pulse. The princess will wake up in a couple of days." Hao Gung also breathed a sigh of relief and politely thanked me, saying, "Thanks to you." Since the situation is stable, I let Hao Gung rest early too. I left first, and she respectfully saw me off. I slowly walked to my exclusive mentor's resting place. When I opened the door, I faintly saw a figure inside the room. A sweet voice said, "You're back, Dot." I looked carefully into the room. I only saw that freckled person dressed provocatively, licking their fingers coquettishly. Isn't this a test for the veteran official? No one would have dreamed that I actually like small breasts. A beautiful woman dressed coolly is offering herself to me. But this person is bleeding from all 7 orifices. Just 2 minutes before the instructor returned to the room, Brother System suddenly rushed out. "Host, there is someone in your room. It's Freckled. He is disguised and alluring. He wants to seduce you." I assure him, the veteran official is resistant to temptation. Besides, he is so imposing. Still want to seduce me? Just in case, Brother System has given me a buff. It prevents me from being affected by items. It may even have a counteractive effect. With everything ready, I pushed open the door. Let me handle it myself. Inside the room, I saw Freckled, who looked cool and seductive, licking her fingers, coquettishly calling out, "Instructor Chu? You're back." However, in the eyes of someone buffed by the Brother System, can you imagine it? A big man with a freckled face, and even sporting your least favorite oversized item, clad in see-through lace, teasing you with her tongue. I was struck as if by lightning on the spot. My internal organs were all trembling. Then I vomited with a "wow," like a waterfall cascading down 3,000 feet. Freckled was shocked to see me vomit. He was also completely baffled. What's going on with this person? Then he pretended to be brave and came up to ask me what's wrong. He leaned closer to me. I became more and more unbearable. It's like a broken faucet. I retched like crazy. Spray is a more appropriate way to describe it. Quickly asked him to stay away from me. It took a long time for me to stop, and my eyes hurt a lot. My heart was even cramping. Brother System says this is the backlash of the buff. You will see his ugliest side. Stay awake afterward. Freckled looked at the instructor who kept vomiting, thinking, "What's wrong with this guy? Even after being pursued by a beauty, he still vomits like this. Is he gay?" Even if he's gay, he won't escape my hands. Pull out all the stops. Then he suddenly came up from behind and hugged me. My body, which had just relaxed, was once again disciplined by him. I resisted the urge to turn around. I tried hard to calm myself down. But that freckled guy thought I was not following through. He kept on nagging. Annoying instructor. You are really hurting someone's feelings. Do you not like them? And from my true perspective, I can't hold it in anymore. My 7 orifices are bleeding from being held in so tightly. And outside the door, Jiyoshi happened to hear the sound of "Ora ora ora" coming from inside the house as he passed by. Jiyoshi thought something had happened to me. She hurriedly ran up. When she opened the door, she saw me with all 7 senses running out in different directions, and eager to bring down my freckled self. She felt a wave of "fuck" in her heart. She closed the door. Disturbed. The savior left just like that. I hurried to open the door. I grabbed her leg. Hurry up and save me. I'm about to vomit. Jiyoshi was still immersed in misunderstanding and shock. Don't touch me. Dirty human. And then she wanted to kick me away. I held on to her tightly as if she were a savior. I'm so miserable. He's a pervert. He seduced me. I'm about to faint. Jiyoshi was shocked to hear this. And how Gung and his group also rushed over because of the noise. Seeing this scene, they were all puzzled. But when they saw Freckle dressed in cool clothes, Instructor Chu taking advantage of the students? That shouldn't be right. I think they misunderstood. I quickly explained while crying. It's not what you think. I am innocent. He was the one trying to violate me. They were shocked to hear that someone was trying to defile the sacred teacher Chu. One person even crushed the bowl prepared to deliver soup to the girl. Family members, bring her to me. I'm here to help. Do you have any more text you'd like me to translate? Dear audience, I know everyone wants to watch the episodes after the cliffhanger, but I'm also very eager as the manga updates 2 episodes every week. As a young man who loves manga, Matsumatsu also really wants to quickly update everyone with new plot developments. Gentlemen can rest assured. The manga will be released online at the first time every Wednesday and Saturday. Matata will update everyone promptly. Thank you, gentlemen, for your continuous love and support. Please provide more suggestions on areas that need improvement. Feel free to recommend any manga that you would like to see. Finally, teach everyone how to correctly seduce Instructor Chu. Firstly, we need a very standard airport. Here we will take Jiyoshi as an example. Then we also need 2 more, either Aziz or Zhuang'er will do. Pair Jiyoshi with a simple yet bold outfit. Just like this. And then the ultimate temptation of Instructor Chu is complete. Have you paid the tuition fees? Subtitle recognition failed. Do you know how high the spiritual enlightenment of a swamp imp is? When other companions all fall into madness. What he heard in his ears, however, was the earnest guidance from his instructor. Just as Freckled was about to seduce the instructor in disguise as a man, she was found out. Amid the angry gazes of swamp imps and students, he saw that the situation was not good. It seemed impossible to control the situation here. Then following that, he took out an item from the scroll behind him. In the brother system, a cautious voice was heard. A purple light radiated out. Seeing this scene, I also hurriedly protected Jiyoshi. How Gung they quickly covered their eyes. Resist this glaring light. And after a flash, that Freckled, although disappeared in place, others seemed to have no change. I just thought it wouldn't be such a fuss with just a smoke bomb. I felt something was not right with Jiyoshi. Her face began to contort. She rushed towards me like a mad woman, trying to bite me. Do you want to bite me? You've got it wrong. This little thing was captured by me in a flash. The swamp imps around you also started to go crazy, attacking the students one by one. Brother System explained. These are items that cause loss of sanity. This item can expose the true form of the demon monster and make it enter a frenzy state. I am particularly dissatisfied. Why does this jerk have so many advanced items? It's completely unreasonable. A swamp imp suddenly attacked me from behind. I am about to retaliate. Suddenly, a voice shouted, "Instructor, be careful!" That swamp imp was knocked away by a shovel from Love Farm. Then Love Farm asked with concern, "Instructor, are you okay?" I saw that Love Farm was okay. I was immediately overjoyed. I asked while pinching Joshi's mouth, "Are you still awake? Did you not get affected?" Love Farm said, "I did feel a strong sense of frenzy just now. But..." The words of guidance from you, instructor, echoed in my ears. I am a swamp imp embracing new ideas in the new era. How can I allow myself to be controlled by primal madness? So, I resisted the agitation and came to my senses. Tears of excitement streamed down my face. Love Farm. I didn't expect your level of enlightenment to be so high. I would like to call you the light of the swamp imps. The future of the demon race is in your hands. Love Farm is also excited. Instructor, rest assured. Love Farm will not disappoint. The brother system interrupted me. Don't joke around here. That bastard ran to the east. That's the direction of the princess's house. I first knocked out Joshi, handed over to Love Farm, and instructed them to help me take care of the frenzied swamp imp without causing harm. Love Farm asked me, "Where are you going?" In an instant, my war god arm fused. I'm going to hammer that pervert. Freckled is over here. He has found the princess's residence. He took off his disguise with a determined heart. Since he can't control Blackmire's stronghold, he will destroy it. Seeing the swamp imp's crazed nature, I doubt they can live harmoniously anymore. As the swamp imp rebels now, I will rescue the princess. I will be the hero of the day. Giving her some charm, the princess will definitely fall madly in love with me. Thinking about his own beautiful future, he pushed the door open. "Princess, here I come." Just at the moment he pushed the door open, the princess's room erupted into a towering blaze. The brother system exclaimed anxiously, "How did the princess's room explode? Could that maniac be trying to kill the princess?" I activate golden eyes to calm him down first. Because there is a figure with long hair in the blazing fire. That figure is the princess. I'm Chu Skylight, an old farmer. Ever since I started farming with Mud Mill and Demon Stronghold, life has been quite prosperous. But one day, a freckled man dressed as a woman tried to seduce me. He failed and then tried to come up with the idea of being a princess. At this moment, a towering blaze erupted from the princess's house. In the midst of the flames stood the princess, suspended in midair. At that moment, Hao Gung ran over, calling out to the princess. The princess hurriedly landed on the ground as well, like lovers reuniting. Hao Gung hurried forward and embraced the princess, saying, "I'm so glad you're okay. I saw the flame shooting up and knew you were awake." Coughing from the other side interrupted their reunion. The princess pointed at Freckled and scolded, "This person! The moment I opened my eyes, I saw his lecherous face touching my feet. I lost control and ended up blowing up the house." Do you know how high the spiritual enlightenment of a swamp imp is? When other companions all fall into madness. What he heard in his ears, however, was the earnest guidance from his instructor. Just as Freckled was about to seduce the instructor in disguise as a man, she was found out. Amid the angry gazes of swamp imps and students, he saw that the situation was not good. It seemed impossible to control the situation here. Then following that, he took out an item from the scroll behind him. In the brother system, a cautious voice was heard. A purple light radiated out. Seeing this scene, I also hurriedly protected Joshi. Hao Gung they quickly covered their eyes. Resist this glaring light. And after a flash, that Freckled, although disappeared in place, others seemed to have no change. I just thought it wouldn't be such a fuss with just a smoke bomb. I felt something was not right with Joshi. Her face began to contort. She rushed towards me like a mad woman, trying to bite me. Do you want to bite me? You've got it wrong. This little thing was captured by me in a flash. The swamp imps around you also started to go crazy, attacking the students one by one. Brother System explained. These are items that cause loss of sanity. This item can expose the true form of the demon monster and make it enter a frenzy state. I am particularly dissatisfied. Why does this jerk have so many advanced items? It's completely unreasonable. A swamp imp suddenly attacked me from behind. I am about to retaliate. Suddenly, a voice shouted, Instructor, be careful! That swamp imp was knocked away by a shovel from Love Farm. Then Love Farm asked with concern, Instructor, are you okay? I saw that Love Farm was okay. I was immediately overjoyed. I asked while pinching Joshi's mouth, Are you still awake? Did you not get affected? Love Farm said, I did feel a strong sense of frenzy just now. But the words of guidance from you, Instructor, echoed in my ears. I am a swamp imp embracing new ideas in the new era. How can I allow myself to be controlled by primal madness? So, I resisted the agitation and came to my senses. Tears of excitement streamed down my face. Love Farm. I didn't expect your level of enlightenment to be so high. I would like to call you the light of the swamp imps. The future of the demon race is in your hands. Love Farm is also excited. Instructor, rest assured. Love Farm will not disappoint. The brother system interrupted me. Don't joke around here. That bastard ran to the east. That's the direction of the princess's house. I first knocked out Joshi, handed over to Love Farm, and instructed them to help me take care of the frenzied swamp imp without causing harm. Love Farm asked me, Where are you going? In an instant, my war god arm fused. I'm going to hammer that pervert. Freckled is over here. He has found the princess's residence. He took off his disguise with a determined heart. Since he can't control Blackmire's stronghold, he will destroy it. Seeing the swamp imp's crazed nature, I doubt they can live harmoniously anymore. As the swamp imp rebels now, I will rescue the princess. I will be the hero of the day. Giving her some charm, the princess will definitely fall madly in love with me. Thinking about his own beautiful future, he pushed the door open. Princess, here I come. Just at the moment he pushed the door open, the princess's room erupted into a towering blaze. The brother system exclaimed anxiously, How did the princess's room explode? Could that maniac be trying to kill the princess? I activate golden eyes to calm him down first. Because there is a figure with long hair in the blazing fire. That figure is the princess. I'm Chu Skylight, an old farmer. Ever since I started farming with Mud Mill and Demon Stronghold, life has been quite prosperous. But one day, a freckled man dressed as a woman tried to seduce me. He failed and then tried to come up with the idea of being a princess. At this moment, a towering blaze erupted from the princess's house. In the midst of the flames stood the princess, suspended in midair. At that moment, Hao Gung ran over, calling out to the princess. The princess hurriedly landed on the ground as well, like lovers reuniting. Hao Gung hurried forward and embraced the princess, saying, I'm so glad you're okay. I saw the flame shooting up and knew you were awake. Coughing from the other side interrupted their reunion. The princess pointed at Freckled and scolded. This person! The moment I opened my eyes, I saw his lecherous face touching my feet. I lost control and ended up blowing up the house. The princess pointed at Freckled and scolded angrily. This person! The moment I opened my eyes, I saw him with a lewd face touching my feet. I couldn't control myself and ended up blowing up the house. Hao Gung, who heard this, became even more gloomy. She stepped forward and said, Your Highness, let me handle him. Please stay away. Be careful, this filthy thing might dirty your hands. As she spoke, her hand swept past, revealing a gleaming sword. This is her martial soul fragrance severing sword. Without saying a word, she stepped forward to slay this Freckled. Freckled is no pushover either. In the midst of panic, he also reacted. He touched the ground with both hands. The ground unexpectedly turned into a quagmire, binding the three of us. Hao Geng was extremely disdainful. However, the mud did not fear her light sword. She was still bound. Brother System had just mentioned that mud was Freckled's martial soul. I beat up the mud that entangled me until it was all smashed. It's so disgusting. On the other side, Freckled said anxiously to the scroll, "The plan is all messed up. Is there an item to erase memory? Hurry, give me." I interrupted his words with a fierce punch. He said in surprise, "How did you break free? Do you still think you can trap me with these little tricks? You must be dreaming if you want to destroy Blackmire's stronghold." As I said that, I began to beat them up. Hao Geng saw me showing great power, shouting enthusiastically, "Teacher Chu, well done! Hammer him to death!" The princess looked puzzled at this fanatical behavior. Freckled covered his face, thinking, "This guy is so strong. Why does he always ruin my good luck? If I get caught here, won't I end up in the same situation again?" Then he gritted his teeth and said, "No! I must fight back. I want everyone to bow down to me. Scroll, give me 20 more years of life. Kill him for me." Then he pulled open the scroll with one swift motion. A bright light suddenly appeared in front of my eyes. It was radiating from the scroll. The range of light instantly began to shrink. And then there was a click in front of my eyes. It went dark. I disappeared into thin air like that. The princess and Hao Geng both looked at this scene in shock. "Where did you take Teacher Chu?" Then Freckled smirked evilly. "He's been eaten. Although the cost was a bit high, finally no one is in my way." "My princess," Hao Geng called anxiously. But she couldn't break free from the mud's constraints. Freckled reached out to touch the princess's face. But he was scolded harshly by the princess. "Get lost. Disgusting." Upon hearing this, Freckled laughed. His other hand held a luminous ball ready to attack. Just then, a golden light struck his arm. With a sound. A hero always appears at a critical moment. Stone Zhuowu stood in front of the princess, holding the lightning sword. But at this moment, I am really confused. I look to the left, and then to the right. Where am I? Beside it, there is another number, which reads 30,037. Brother System told me. Here is system space. Just when I was being forced into the system space by Freckled Scroll. Freckled is about to make a move on the princess in a critical moment. Stone Zhuowu arrived in time. Then he started a fierce battle with Freckled. He also casually cut off the mud binding the two princesses for half a day. Hao Geng had just exclaimed how strong young Master Stone was, when he heard someone behind him saying that Zhuowu's lighting sword naturally countered the mud. Turning around, he saw Water Xiaoling also rushing over. She smiled and asked if the two of them were injured. Just now, the swamp imp suddenly rioted. We thought of finding Mr. Chu Love Farm, and were told he went east. That's why we hurried over. Hao Geng heard the name of the instructor. She quickly reminded young Master Stone to be careful. He was affected and disappeared by artifact teacher Chu, who has the ability to teleport. Stone Zhuowu's attacks were relentless. However, he had also noticed the anomalies early on. This person is indeed very mysterious, causing my attacks to inexplicably deviate. Being plotted against by such a person. Brother Chu, you must stay safe. And on the other side, I am peacefully lying down to sleep. Brother System, come forward and give me a big push. Here we go. Just tried it. Can't get out no matter how hard you try. What can you do without sleeping? I yawned and asked Brother System, isn't this the system space? You should have a way, right? Brother System then said that this place is very strange. After connecting to Heavenly Tao, the system will form its own exclusive system space to store system consciousness and create advanced items. But there is no system consciousness here. It's like an empty shell without a soul. I communicated with this string of numbers, and found that it is just a low-level AI, a poor substitute for system consciousness. If it operates based on preset programs, then this scroll is merely a machine that provides items. It's a fake system. I couldn't help but start complaining. Fake system with lots of items. A real system doesn't even have its own space. So to say, we are like being locked in someone else's house. There is only an AI when no one is in the room. We don't even know how to leave? Brother System looks disappointed. It can be understood this way. Can't we just take over its home? Brother System was taken aback for a moment. You kid really are a genius. Oh my. That's quite impressive. Brother System, get ready. Give it a try. Anyway, it's just an AI. Easy to invade. Since you let me in, be prepared for this. Today, I will show you the power of an excellent progressive system. Then Brother System is buzzing with energy, like a hacker invading. At this moment, Stone Zhuowu from the outside. He is still in a fierce battle with Freckled. After Princess broke free, she also stepped forward to help, only to see the princess's eyes flashing with red light. Martial Master skill berserking. Seal the deal with one blow. The power of this blow is truly terrifying. Be careful not to accidentally hit Stone Zhuowu. The princess's expression showed no hint of relaxation, only to see that a mysterious barrier in front of Freckled actually blocked this strike. And there were signs of a counterattack in his hands as well. She quickly picked up Stone Zhuowu and retreated. It's really disgusting. Every time I'm about to hit, either it suddenly veers off, or this strange shield appears. Freckled Man is also in a mess, although he has system props to help. But the strength of these two people is really too strong. We can't continue to drag them. Just see him summoning a scroll again. It seems like I am an old farmer. I was banned by a fake system. Outside, my students are battling with this person. Freckled Man is gradually losing the battle. He once again took out the AI system scroll, pulled out an item for leveling up. However, this item consumes a lot of lifespan. But he thought that if he lost, he would become the bullied dog again. His eyes turned red as he used the item. In an instant, a purple light pillar shot up into the sky. Hao Gung and the other two also felt it. Such a strong soul power fluctuation. He actually broke through. The Freckled Man is in the pillar of light. His level is soaring rapidly. Stone Zhuowu feels something is not right. He must have used some artifact again. He hurriedly asked Water Shaoling to boost him, about to go interrupt him. Water Shaoling released amplifying energy with both hands. The momentum of Stone Zhuowu also began to soar. He faced the light pillar and slashed down with a sword. But this time, Freckled's mud actually blocked the lighting sword. The mud turned into arrows and started to counterattack. Freckled, after the breakthrough, was extraordinary. The mud transformed into a python, leaving Stone Zhuowu in a sorry state. Just as the Freckled Man's attention was diverted, suddenly, a purple light appeared on his body. That is Hao Gung's martial soul. Her sword can actually transform into sections of whip. The whip wrapped around Freckled Man's neck, and with a forceful pull, dragged him back, causing him to lose his balance. The princess, with her eyes turning red, lifted her massive hammer, struck down in pain. After a sudden explosion, Freckled was sent flying backwards. He crashed onto the ground. The others did not give him any time to catch his breath. Stone Zhuowu broke free from the crowd and lifted the lighting sword. He throws it down. The lighting sword is flying in the air. It was also struck hard by the princess's big hammer. A combined full-force strike from the two. Direct hit. Massive explosion. The ground for miles around shattered. Water Shaoling also released a barrier to protect Hao Gung. After they all landed, they felt that the situation should have been resolved. Suddenly, the ground began to shake violently. Many slimy mud tentacles suddenly emerged from the ground. The princess and several others were caught by them. The freckled man was struck by a combined attack from several people. Surprisingly, he still had the ability to strike back. Several people were dragged into the mud by tentacles and couldn't move. The freckled man also walked over. But he was not unscathed either. There were bloodstains on his body, and Stone Zhuo's lightning sword was still stuck in his hand. You guys are really powerful. The power of this strike is truly terrifying. After saying that, he stepped forward and gave Stone Zhuo a kick. I really hate the attribute restraint of your lightning sword. It really hurts. Then he turned to the princess. Perfect. Anyway, I can erase your memories. Before that, I can have some fun with you. When the princess heard this, she hurriedly spoke up. Don't you dare do anything to me. Beware, my father will annihilate your entire family. She was met with a disdainful sneer from the freckled man. Maybe you'll end up begging for my mercy, crying, he said. My little princess. Then he took out a scroll. Noble offspring of the emperor. Sons of fortune. You all shall submit beneath my feet. I am the chosen one. Scroll. Give it to me. A sudden punch out of the blue. Emerging from the scroll, it went straight for Freckles' chin. This punch also shattered his lofty ambitions and aspirations. The princess and several others were also taken aback by this sudden change. They all looked on in bewilderment. Following that, a head slowly emerged from the scroll. As he climbed out completely, it was none other than the instructor Chu they had been worried about. I traveled to the Divine Continent. I have been farming the land for 18 years. I don't want any gold finger system. But I still have 6 old neurotics waiting for me to save their lives. Unfortunately, I'm afraid I can only end it. I have already planned a life of farming for retirement. With the utterly useless brother system, I embarked on a journey to find a way to lift the seal. Now I have encountered a fake system again. It trapped me. Who can tolerate this? When Freckled is about to commit a crime, I rise with a rising dragon fist from the scroll and knock him down. He watches as I climb out. The 4 people in the quagmire are all overjoyed. It's Teacher Chu. I'm curious. Why are you all burying yourselves in the mud? Is it some kind of performance art? How Gung and the other 2 are truly amazed by Teacher Chu's creativity. At this moment, their screams made me aware of the freckled man's sneak attack behind me. I extremely despise. I smashed the rotten hammer with one fist. I quickly shook my hand. This mud is really. The soil quality has been ruined. Freckled was taken aback when he saw it clearly. How come it's you again? How did you not die inside? Then he glared angrily, ready to kill the person who always spoiled his good deeds. Just as the mud snake was about to attack, I stomped on the ground. A huge rock suddenly emerged from below, blocking Freckles' attack. I stuck my head out from behind the huge rock. You enjoy playing with mud, don't you, kid? Then I'll play with you for real. A rock giant fist suddenly appeared in front of Freckled. The attack came suddenly, and he didn't have time to dodge. He was hit directly. He spits out blood and wonders, how is he so strong? I am at the martial grandmaster stage. Then he once again draws an upgrade item. No, I need to be stronger to succeed. My brother's system also noticed something wrong here. It climbed onto my hand. Let me get close to him. Strip off his props. And he is very weak now. His remaining lifespan is very limited now. But Freckled is not ready to give up yet. He wants to be stronger. Because he was always bullied by the children of prestigious families before. Even his qualification for enrollment was taken away. He is crying now. There is a sudden voice. It's that scroll. The scroll is willing to give him power to help him seek revenge. Ascend the Divine Continent. But he needs to sacrifice his life. With no other choice, he accepted. A fierce punch sent him back to reality. This punch also shattered his upgrade item. The item was still reclaimed by the brother system. The brother system says there is space now. It can reassemble and reuse the fragments. And Freckled on the ground unwillingly said, "Why do you all bully me? Why is it so hard for me to turn over?" I listened with anger on my face. You have done a lot of wicked things. Are you still pretending to be the victim now? This angered Freckled even more, and he roared. This is all that I deserve. Those aristocratic young men. They are born to enjoy the best cultivation resources, while I have no power or influence. I was bullied since I was a child. 2 years ago, I finally got admitted to the Immortal Cultivation Academy after much difficulty. Being impersonated by them. The princess and others felt ashamed after hearing this. Freckle continued speaking, as if using the last of his strength. I've been trying so hard too. Why is it that I, born lowly? I will seek revenge on them. What have I done wrong? The scroll is my only hope. It is not your hope. I interrupted him and said, it is a demon that drags you into the abyss. It is not revenge to wield your blade against the innocent. This is despicable foolishness. You have chosen the wrong way to stand up. He smiled in the end, left behind a sentence. I have no choice. Have you ever seen someone looking for a pig farming manual in a system knowledge base? Freckled's tragic life has come to an end. He died with an unyielding gaze at the sky. Soul Spirit did not transport him out either. Being powerless against the depletion of life is also inevitable. Brother System has heard Freckle's story, and said he was quite pitiful. It's still you guys, these deceptive systems. Actually trading life for props. Brother System is getting mad with that. It's the fake system that pulls this off. I am a regular system. You come in. Just as I was getting into the spotlight, I was hit by a book. Looking around, there are countless books surrounding us. I curiously asked, where is this place? Brother System arrogantly stated that this is his space. These books contain a copy of all the knowledge Mastermind has stored. Brother System said, few systems allow the host to enter the system space, because the confidentiality here is very high. But I am his intimate partner. That's why it is candid with me. Then it said that it had checked that fake system. It looked more like a switch. The AI inside will automatically search for a host. The host sacrifices their life. They only provide items. I tried to investigate the origin, but suddenly it self-destructed. It became more and more angry as it spoke. I probably won't be able to connect to the heavenly Tao because it's related to a false system. They even conducted a sacrificial ritual using a life. It tarnished my reputation. If I encounter one, I will devour one. By the way, it just so happens that it has the energy needed for your martial soul upgrade. Go ahead and level up. Congratulations on your martial soul leveling up to Earth rank. That's too casual. I protest after regaining consciousness. You have changed. Hello, you are too polite. In the past, weren't upgrades always accompanied by flashy special effects? The Brother System has picked up its book. This was when we first met. I want to establish a professional and cool system image. Now you know what I'm like. What else do you need? Brother System took out that broken prop again. He said he can't generate it on his own right now. But I can reassemble it with these fragments. Without the assistance of the Heavenly Tao, I can only rely on myself to create high-level props. This requires a large amount of knowledge and energy reserves. I need to read all the books here. Wow, are you working this hard? The Brother System should pat its chest. Generously admit it. I am really useless now. But I can make up for it with effort. I will never lose to shameless fake systems. You also need to become the world's strongest man. And I, to become the world's strongest system. Let's work hard together. Brother System's impassioned speech did not move the old farmer at all. He was busy flipping through a book. Hey, do you have any books on raising pigs? Other animals are fine too. I want to try developing animal husbandry. Brother System's face instantly darkened, along with Brother System's furious shout. Get out! It kicked the old farmer out with one kick. He's agitated, he's agitated. The system is agitated. Just because I asked him for the pig farming manual. It kicked me out of the system space with one kick. As soon as I came out, I heard Love Farm calling me. I saw him looking disheveled. I asked him what happened. Love Farm said everyone has already calmed down. But the riot destroyed more than half of the farmland. My smile froze instantly. Then I hurried to the vegetable garden. I saw debris all over the ground. The little swamp imps had sorrowful looks on their faces. They all knew they had made a big mistake. They asked me to punish them. I took out a kitchen knife to startle them. I said to them, "You are also victims. What should I punish you for?" I chopped directly at my own neck. I'm going to the underworld to whip that freckled face. Don't stop me. Love Farm dragged me crying. Instructor, please don't abandon us. The food supply was already tight. Many staple crops that take a long time to grow were destroyed this time. Now there are more and more people in this stronghold. We are about to run out of food. If you leave, Blackmire's stronghold will be totally finished. The call from Love Farm made me calm down. It's true. Now there is such a big family to feed. I sighed lightly, apologized to them. I was impulsive. I won't leave you guys. Cutting off the food supply is indeed very tricky. And I haven't cultivated quick-growing seeds for staple crops much. By the way, I took one out of the ring. A huge, powerful corn cob. But I have this. I took out a large one from the ring. Corn cob. This is the only fast-growing one. It grows the fastest among the staple foods. Stonejwu asked, "Why wasn't this cultivated before?" Because it tastes bad. It's like chewing wax. It's far inferior to regular corn. But it cooks quickly. I'll still have Love Farm find everyone to plant together. Then tally up the remaining food. We should be able to get through this period. What I don't know is, Jiyoshi has been watching from behind all this time. But he dare not approach. Her current mood is very complex. Because everyone saw her true colors when she exposed herself before. Now whenever she appears, everyone whispers that she is the seductive fox. Jiyoshi is very flustered. People have always shown hostility towards the seductive fox, leaving her feeling unsure about what to do. The next morning, what a joke. The princess was very angry early in the morning. You actually want me to farm too? I am a princess. Also, what is this? Is this something people eat? Love Farm is in a panic, whispering, saying, "It's already good to have steamed sweet potatoes to eat." Hearing this conversation, the scene of the princess holding her big hammer, about to destroy Stronghold, appeared suddenly. Luckily, Hao Gong is blocking her. The situation is at a stalemate. Suddenly, a voice came from afar. I walked over with Stonejwu, who had already become a new farmer. I said the order came from me. You are not here to farm for the swamp imp, but for yourself. Love Farm, you guys talk to them. What have you all been eating before I came? Love Farm was stunned. He was a bit embarrassed. He stammered and said, "Eat feces." The princess's chin fell off directly. Love Farm quickly explained. Only eat when really hungry. And not all the time. Shit is not delicious. Most of the time, it's eating the same kind of food. Several girls scared to death directly. Isn't this more terrifying, okay? About Love Farm, they have been eating shit. The princess scared those girls badly. Love Farm blushed and explained. In fact, they had reserves of food originally. But those were all Blackmire King's personal belongings. Regular swamp imps couldn't eat them. After the instructor arrived, he divided the reserves equally, guided us to cultivate the land, and gradually things got better. After I finished speaking, I tossed a hoe directly to the princess, urging her to clear the land quickly and start planting. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any good food to eat. But she still refused. Farmers are the ones who cultivate the land. How could I do such a dirty and lowly manual labor. What do you want then? Shall we farm to support you? Who would have thought that she thought it was all natural because she was Princess Jialan? I couldn't hold back anymore. I said, Your Highness, the rule at Blackmire's stronghold is that you work for your meals. No exceptions. If you don't work, then don't eat. After saying that, I took Love Farm and went to cultivate the land. Hao Gung quickly said kind words to the princess. Your Highness, Teacher Chu is like this. Please don't worry. I'll take care of your portion too. You won't go hungry. But the princess is currently enraged, yelling, Who cares? How dare you speak to me like that? I'll remember this. Even if I starve, I won't take a bite of his food. Then, she ignored Hao Gung's calls and slammed the door shut. I'd like to see if he can bear the accusation of starving the princess. On my end, Brother System is also unhappy. How can you treat the princess like that? Your favorability rating has gone negative. You still need her to find the stone of unsealing. I understand all this, but as the instructor of Blackmire's stronghold, I must uphold fairness. If someone gets undeserved benefits, how can this land still thrive? This directly provoked a big conflict with Brother System. In the end, it's all for the sake of planting your broken land. Brother System, bring out the tablet. This is your main task now. Capture her. I'll give you the artifact for farming. Capture her. The so-called strategy. Isn't it just to deceive people? Deceiving people. I'm best at it. Audience, please watch carefully and learn seriously. Today I'm here to teach everyone how to plant crops. First, scatter swamp imp manure at regular intervals. Place 2 or 3 seeds in the middle of the manure. Maintain a distance from the manure to avoid burning the seeds with the fertilizer. Then cover with soil and water it. Stone Woo asked on the side, Can food grow like this? Upon receiving my affirmative answer, Stone Woo is full of energy. He picks up a hoe and gets to work. This guy will definitely be a good farmer in the future. I look on from the side. Working for 2 people is already exhausting Hao Gung. It's not sustainable to continue like this. I shouted at her. She kept talking. She will finish the princess's work. She asked me not to deduct the princess's food. I told her, I am not trying to make things difficult for the princess either. It's not acceptable for you to continue like this. I do have a way, but it requires your cooperation. On the other side, the princess is sitting in the room, lost in thought. Her stomach is growling from hunger. Tears of grievance start to well up in her eyes. Coming from a noble background, she has never experienced the feeling of hunger before. She is determined that once she goes out, she will definitely inform the emperor to shut down that Chu Skylight. Suddenly, there is a commotion outside the door. It's lunchtime. The little swamp imps are happily carrying hoes and heading to the cafeteria to prepare lunch. On the way, they are discussing how the princess doesn't want to do anything and just wants to eat. The princess heard them gossiping about her and paused for a moment. Then she picked up her big hammer and climbed out of the window. How dare you have such a big nerve? How dare you gossip about me behind my back? Thankfully, the timely arrival of Hao Gung stopped her. Stay calm, princess. Don't stoop to their level. Are you hungry? I brought lunch for you. The princess is still in a huff, not giving Hao Gung any face at all. She turned around and locked herself in the room. I won't eat. Unless that Chu Skylight comes over and kneels down to apologize to me. Otherwise, I will never forgive. You can't think of it no matter what. When you teach Swamp Imp how to farm, they can be so happy. Look at their simple folkways. They no longer have to eat feces every day. Their faces are always beaming with bright smiles. Our princess is not so happy. Due to her noble birth, she refuses to work, so she has nothing to eat. Out of spite, she also refuses to accept the sweet potatoes Hao Gung gives her. She hasn't eaten for 2 days. Looking dull, the only thought in her mind now is, I'm so hungry. She really hopes that Hao Gung can bring her some food. But Hao Geng, who was rejected twice, has not shown up again. Suddenly, a smell drifts into her nostrils. She jumps up all at once. "This smells amazing!" she exclaims. Drooling, she rushes out. She wants to see what exactly is that smell. Chu Skylight was dressed like an old farmer, roasting sweet potatoes. When he saw the princess coming out, he smiled and greeted her. The princess was taken aback for a moment. She slammed the door again and left. "This guy. Quite stubborn, isn't he? I had to climb in through the window. Your Highness, I've come to apologize to you." "Little sweet potato. Please accept my apologies. I hope you won't refuse." Where can the princess withstand it now, having not eaten for 2 days? In the end, she picked up the sweet potato and started gnawing on it. I said, "Slow down when eating. All have been used up in what I roasted for you." The princess also knew that she was not promising. However, "Why is it so delicious?" She wiped away her tears and asked me for another one. "But I haven't finished roasting yet. Why don't you roast some yourself?" "Bury the sweet potatoes in the ashes. They will be cooked after burning 1 incense stick." The princess thought 1 incense stick was too long to wait. She directly took out her martial soul great hammer. "Cook over high heat." This frightened me, and I exclaimed in surprise, "My sweet potatoes!" It all turned into carbon. How should we continue with the performance? Let's continue following the script. Actor Love Farm came on stage. He pretended to run over. "It's so tiring to farm all day." "Oh my!" "Instructor Princess. Are you roasting sweet potatoes?" "Wow. Is this sweet potato roasted by the princess? It looks crispy on the outside and tender inside. Can I have a taste?" I covered my face, thinking you should at least change the lines. Isn't this speaking nonsense with eyes open? Love Farm politely spoke up. He picked up the charcoal-roasted sweet potato. Thinking to himself, instructor ordered, regardless of how the princess's sweet potato turns out, he must praise it, encouraging her to take the first step in labor. Love Farm, summoning up his courage, took a bite. "No matter how bad it tastes, I must." But the next second, he unexpectedly found it so delicious that his glasses exploded. I teach the princess how to bake sweet potatoes in Mythic Realm. I'm thinking of having Love Farm perform for her to ignite her passion for farming. But who knew she ended up getting burned into charcoal directly? Love Farm did not disappoint me. It followed the script and acted it out. I originally thought it would taste bad. But Love Farm, with just 1 bite, his glasses turned out to be explosively delicious. "He even grew hair," he exclaimed. "Under the shell of the charcoal, there is a dense and sticky texture. The sweet fragrance hits upon contact. Warmth spreads to his internal organs. So delicious. I never expected it to be so delicious that it makes my hair stand on end." Love Farm stuffed the sweet potato directly into my mouth. "Let me taste it. You'll never know until you try. It's really delicious to the point of explosion. Isn't this the feeling of first love?" Hearing that there are sweet potatoes that can grow long hair, the swamp imps all come running. In an instant, the entire Blackmire stronghold has grown hair. A miracle on earth. The princess listened to the swamp imp's praises, feeling a bit overwhelmed herself. I also stepped forward and added fuel to the fire. "It's no wonder you're a princess. After eating your earth paws, my hair volume has increased significantly, and my spirits are tenfold. I can now plant 20 acres of land at one go." The princess is embarrassed. Is it really that powerful? Of course. This is simply the greatest food of all time. Everyone should try it. Let everyone see. Princess Jialan has such extraordinary culinary skills. A kind and approachable princess. In order for more people to taste your sweet potatoes grown locally, I earnestly request from you, please become the mess sergeant of Blackmire Stronghold. My proposal also attracted the swamp imp's approval. Under wave after wave of attacks, even the princess couldn't resist. She blushed, reluctantly accepting, but the uncontrollable smile on her face revealed her true happiness. The swamp imps cheered happily, shouting, "Long live the princess!" I am also very happy. Not only did I trick her into limping, I also made a profit of one chef for free. Who would have thought it was all because of the princess's black charcoal sweet potato? The entire demon stronghold suddenly sprouted hair. Everyone is happy. I am the biggest winner. Not only did I deceive a princess and gain a chef for free, her talent is not bad. Martial soul is also very suitable for cooking. I want to focus on training her. Flirt with her, not asking her to be a cook. Angry brother system even grabbed a handful of my hair. I'm arguing with brother system. A man and a woman in the distance are quietly watching all this. This villain. He deceived the princess. The woman indicates that they are at a disadvantage here. They might as well leave the examination room directly. Tell the examiner that he colluded with seductive fox. After all, we have already lived for 17 days, far exceeding the admission line of major universities. The two of them discussed it and decided to leave Mythic Realm directly. Outside the examination hall, people who care about the exam are gathered. Everyone is looking at the giant screen and discussing animatedly. Who is this Chu Skylight? I've never heard of them before. What's the deal with this Shadowmire? Even the head examiner has never seen this situation. It's been 17 days now. Why are there still so many people who haven't come out? Which family does Chu Skylight belong to? Someone nearby reported that there might be an issue with the soul spirit in this exam venue. It cannot be teleported voluntarily, and can only come out through death. The deceased examinee was also from this exam venue. Lu Lian is somewhat flustered. It's not unusual for an examinee to die. It happens every year. But if it's a child from a prestigious family or clan, then it could be troublesome. Stone Zhuowu, Water Shaoling, and the third princess. The safety of these individuals is of great importance. Should the exams be suspended? Suddenly someone ran over to report that Blackmire has appeared with 2 new members. They said they want to make a report. Chu Skylight, who is ranked first, colludes with seductive fox. Incites swamp imp to force the princess to roast sweet potatoes. The person himself feels it's absurd even just talking about it. He said that Chu Skylight also instigated all the examinees, including young Master Stone in Miss Water. Kind. Planting crops. Several people were directly stunned. WTF? Cafeteria window at Blackmire Demon Stronghold. Sign hanging. Grown locally sweet potatoes. Daily limited quantity. Swamp Imp and the students happily lined up for food. But the world outside the exam room is not so rosy. The chief examiner looked bewildered after listening to the report. What? Planting crops? Wait. Forcing the princess, isn't it humiliating the royal family? Isn't he inciting the swamp imp equivalent to colluding with the demon race? Then colluding with the seductive fox, isn't it colluding with the Yogwai clan? This kid is going to rebel. Close the exam hall immediately. Capture Chu Skylight. Lu Lian became anxious. His subordinates were in a panic, indicating that they found that the formation of Shadowmire could no longer operate. Lu Lian was once again shocked. The formation that is running the exam was designed by the elder of the Divine Empire himself. It has never gone wrong in many years. Why is there an issue with the exam hall again, and why can't it be closed? Is all this the doing of Chu Skylight? Lu Lian quickly ordered someone to report to the royal family, requesting to gather martial king-level cultivators from various major forces to modify the examination formation and soul spirit of this person. It is already beyond our control. And for several days, Jiyoshi has been lifeless with empty eyes. Because wherever she goes, there are discussions about her everywhere. Have you heard? 2 people ran out to report seductive fox. Anyway, they have spent enough time together. Reporting might even come with rewards. They have really played a good move. Of course, There are also people who look down on those who burn bridges after crossing the river. But recently she has been by herself. Chu Skylight seems to have gone to teach the princess how to cook. I suppose he also doesn't want to get involved with seductive fox. It's wise to protect oneself. On the other side, a freshly cooked plate of lightly blanched cabbage. Chu Skylight set down the chopsticks to taste it. The princess, on the other hand, was extremely nervous. That's the taste. Refreshing and sweet. Much tastier than what I made. Your Highness, you are truly talented. The praised princess is also very happy. Hao Gung stood aside, watching the princess undergo such a transformation. He was so touched that he was almost in tears. She was greatly inspired. She said she must redouble her efforts. After saying that, she picked up firewood and continued cooking. Hao Gung is really pleased. I just didn't expect His Highness to enjoy cooking so much. I have never seen her so excited. Wait a minute. Could it be the princess and teacher Chu? The princess is so active in cooking, making Hao Gung suspicious. Has Your Highness developed feelings for the instructor? And then she started to imagine things. Although teacher Chu is very charming, Your Majesty would definitely not agree. She was thinking about what to do when she was called by the princess. She said Shifu made her feel like her mother. Hao Gung couldn't hold back and spurted out a mouthful of old tea. The princess didn't notice. She was lost in memories. She said that when her mother was alive, she loved cooking. The princess often watched her cook herself. But the emperor, however, does not like her doing this. He believes that cooking is the work of servants. Ever since the queen mother passed away, the king and the eldest brother are busy with court affairs. Although they dote on me, but they seldom accompany me. No one dares to scold me anymore. No one encourages me with patience and gentleness like my mother used to. I wish Shifu were a woman. I really wish she could be my mother empress. The princess's terrifying thoughts truly alarmed Hao Gung. Outside, the brother system is congratulating me on the princess's maximum favorability level. Mission completed. I rub my fingers together. You know what I mean, right? Brother system said it's ready a long time ago. It will definitely not disappoint me. On the other side of the field, the little swamp imps are working hard on planting crops. They are also thinking about going to harvest corn in a while. They can't help but sigh that today is so tiring. Suddenly, a series of cracking sounds can be heard. Everyone looked over in horror, only to see LED headlights matched with a fiery red hood. In the middle it said, "Time to eat." Everyone was dumbfounded. What the hell is this? This is our farming machine. Combine harvester. Have you seen the tractor in the immortal cultivation world? There is one with the instructor. After he drove the tractor onto the scene, he greeted everyone. Stone Zhuwu curiously asked, "Brother Chu, is this your mechanized carriage?" I explained that it is called a tractor, which is also considered a type of mechanized carriage. I also saw Jiushi, who had been avoiding me for several days. I scooped her up into the car with one swoop. "Come! Brother will let you experience the power of technology." So I drove the tractor, and with a very happy mood, I started plowing the field. Jiushi complained, "This is so bumpy, bumpy, bumpy." I explained, "This is driven by soul power. Can you feel your soul power burning?" Jiushi exclaimed, "Wow, emotions also consume my soul power. It can't be helped. I have to plow all the untilled land in this stronghold. My own soul power is not enough." Jiushi, who heard this, panicked. Circling the stronghold once, wouldn't everyone see it? She directly hid under the chair. I quickly pulled her out. Jiushi was still struggling. Said not to let them see us together. I made her have some confidence in me. I've said it before. Even if the sky falls, I'll hold it up for you. Have a little confidence in me. With just your little issues, they won't burden me. You didn't do anything wrong. Why be so timid? Stifled for several days. She almost couldn't hold back her tears all at once. I told her to tell me promptly if she is wronged in the future. Sit properly. Look at me help you get the situation back. I picked up my microphone. Clear throat. Cough twice. Pay attention. All set. Everyone was surprised. Mechanized carriage? Or the voice of the instructor? Recently, there are many people talking behind little Jiushi, saying she is a seductive fox causing isolation. I think someone has eaten too much. What's wrong with seductive fox? Stole your rice? If someone chews the roots and discriminates again in the future, please leave Blackmire Stronghold. In addition, in order to let little Jiushi feel the warmth of the world, the Love Jiushi activity is now being held in the Stronghold. No matter who it is, as long as they warm-heartedly smile at and express goodwill towards little Jiushi every day, I will teach him how to operate the mechanized carriage. 1 person per day. First come, first served. Just said that. A loudspeaker blared out. Little Jiushi shouted, "Are you crazy?" and then smacked me. Suddenly, she was also yelled at. A group of little swamp imps are shouting, "Is she?" I've wanted to say it for a long time. I think you are very cute. I like you. Not just them. Chief Guard Hao Gong is even more excessive. She directly lay on the car window. Little Jiushi's sister. Sister loves you. Let me also play with Teacher Chu's mechanized carriage. At one point, the people from the entire stronghold gathered around. I don't know why. Expressing goodwill turned into seeking love. Jiushi has never seen this scene before. Her face turned red, as if emitting smoke. The medicinal herb plantation on the other side. Everyone also heard the news brought by the instructor about the mechanized carriage. A large group of people and horses are about to go find Jiushi to confess. Water Shaoling on the side saw this scene and thought, "It seems that Mr. Chu made a move. That's great." A few days ago, little Jiushi even kept a distance from me, afraid of burdening others. This child must have suffered a lot in the past. So, a fierce love battle unfolded in the stronghold for Jiushi. The days passed as I taught Love Farm how to operate a tractor. I play cards with Stone Zhuowu. In this way, day by day passed by. Brother System studies his endless books every day. The princess has also become her favorite chef these days. All documented in Love Farm's diary entries, one by one. On that day, the deputy instructor at Love Farm was writing in his diary when he was called by a little swamp imp, saying that the instructor was looking for him. After Love Farm left, his diary was blown by the wind outside the window, flipping through its pages. One page was seen with the words, "It has been half a year since the instructor arrived at Blackmire Stronghold." The days of driving the tractor always pass quickly. In the blink of an eye, it has been half a year at Demon Stronghold. Stone Zhuowu is from the Son of Destiny. Has become a respected farmer. The princess has also become an excellent mess sergeant. Love Farm has also become a polite deputy instructor. While outside the world, people who focus on exams have been worrying, because it has been 7 hours. It has been more than half a year since the time in the examination room. It is said that the candidates have been coerced by that Chu Skylight. They are trapped inside and have been made to farm. And the powerhouses of the 4 major clans have also arrived. They are currently gathered together. One person slapped the table and stood up. "This is a beautiful woman," she scolded in a delicate voice. "It has been 7 hours. We still can't get in. My son is still farming inside." In fact, she was very worried. "My son Zhuowu is both clumsy and capable. He will definitely be ordered around like a bull." The Lu family's Lu Lian spoke up. "This time, we can't blame Cao Fong. To prevent cheating, no one is allowed to enter the exam room once it starts. This law was enacted by the revered elders of the Divine Empire. He is a strong martial deity-level expert. We cannot break through his restrictions. We have already sought help from the revered elders. Although we cannot enter now, the exam room will automatically open every 12 hours to welcome a new round of exams. So there's no need to be so nervous. In another 5 hours, the exam room will open on its own. Another beautiful woman stood up and said, 5 hours! That's equivalent to 5 months inside. How much suffering will my daughter have to endure? I heard that she was forced to wear a white coat every day, doing some research work, locked in the room all day long and couldn't come out. This statement resonated with many people, all sighing and worrying about their own children. At that moment when it was noisy, everyone was interrupted by the sound of a cane hitting the ground. The leader of the water family, old lady, spoke up. I do have a solution. Let us observe the situation inside the examination hall. Is everyone willing to give it a try? Everyone who heard this was surprised and turned to look at the old lady. So, under the sun in the exam room, a red line appeared. The line was twisting and turning. It turned into an object resembling an eyeball. The little swamp imp who witnessed this scene was shocked. Oh my goodness! How come the sun now has eyes? Hurry, go find the instructor and report this. This scene is all projected by the formation of Old Lady Water from outside. She spoke up. This formation won't last long. We need to quickly check on the children and see how they are doing. The next thing shocked their worldviews. It's about to happen. Stoneju's mother thought to herself, there are so many people here. I can't find my son. And does Swamp Imp really have such thick hair? Suddenly Formation spotted a bright red hair. His mother quickly asked the old lady to take a closer look. And when Stoneju, he turned back with a frightened face. Sorry. I really couldn't hold back. Ha ha ha. Even his mother was scared. Oh my god. How did the child get sunburned like this? And then everyone saw water showering with blue hair. She was surrounded by swamp imps. Everyone thought she was under siege. Upon closer inspection, those swamp imps actually seemed to be protecting her. The more they looked, the more confused they became. At this time, everyone noticed something running fast on the left. Old Lady Water quickly manipulated the formation to look over. It's a mechanized carriage? Suddenly the carriage stopped. Oh! A child got off the carriage. Jiyoshi looked straight at them, and then glanced over. Then she took out sunglasses and put them on. She made a clicking sound with her mouth. She just raised her middle finger directly. The parents looked confused. What the heck is going on here? Talk about Jiyoshi being so international all of a sudden. It's all because the instructor doesn't like her being so timid and hesitant. In addition to the Love Jiyoshi event, he also tried to comfort her in other ways. The situation is like this. Only saw instructor directly giving Jiyoshi a big brain shell. Being bullied, he wants to resist. Where is the strength you used to confront me back then? You will just bully at home. Then Jiyoshi returned a punch. I am definitely not a bully at home. Instructor angrily scolded Jiyoshi. You have to become domineering in the future. Whoever disrespects you, you must curse back at them. Follow me and raise your middle finger. Just like that. Under my guidance, Miss She gradually became more unrestrained and bold. Yes, I always feel like she has gone a little too far in her boldness. Love Farm rushed over in concern and witnessed a bold scene of Jiyoshi. He was worried and advised Jiyoshi to be more careful, since they still didn't know what it was. At this time, someone behind them called out to the two of them. Water Shaoling also rushed over. She is also worried about Jiyoshi. She told the two that this is a monitoring formation similar to clairvoyance. Don't panic. And Water Shaoling figured out it was probably her grandmother's doing through the formation symbol. However, monitoring the exam room is against the rules. So what should we do next? Then she asked where the Love Farm instructor was. Upon learning that he was on the other side of the riverbank, the three of them decided to go find him together. Outside the examination room, a group of parents watched this scene. Everyone felt that their relationship seemed quite good. Hao Gung's mother saw them safe. She then spoke up and asked Water family's elderly lady to find her daughter. She is worried that Hao Gung has been imprisoned by Chu Skylight. Hao Gung has always been a conservative and upright child. On the other hand, spear, Hao Gung happily said while wearing a swimsuit. I got it. The lady outside, Lady Hao, died on the spot. This child is dressed so cool. What an indecent look. It scared the people around. Everyone quickly pinch her philtrum. Rescue her. The instructor wears a hat, his face blushing. He stares attentively ahead. They are grilling fish at Hao Gung's place. He not only covered his head after looking for a while. Feeling dizzy. Feeling giddy. Brother System encouraged him to cheer up quickly. Look more. It's so nice to see. Our instructor is so versatile. He thought he should have brought little Jiushi and the princess along earlier. He is still thinking about his sense of justice. Suddenly someone shouted, Quick, look in the sky! The instructor looked up and was also shocked for a moment. He couldn't help but wonder what that thing was. But just for a moment. The eye-like thing closed. At this time, Water Xiaoling and Jiushi ran over. Mr. Chu, this thing may be a warning. We should get out quickly. Then he gathered everyone. A meeting was urgently called. Miss Water first spoke, stating that monitoring the exam room during the test was against the rules, and it was a challenge to the laws set by the elders. The energy consumption was also enormous. Suddenly, Grandmother appeared outside the exam room with clairvoyance. Something must have happened outside. We have been here for half a year, and it's time to leave. Stonejwu reluctantly expressed. But I still want to farm. The princess also said she wants to cook another dish. Love Farm also looked reluctant to leave. The instructor understands in his heart. Perhaps it's what those two complainants said. The situation outside doesn't look good. Jiushi on the side also knows. Her own identity must have been reported as well. She feels depressed. The instructor pulled her hair, scratching her face. This moment ignited Jiushi's anger, seeing Jiushi not so depressed. He then said to them, No need to argue. Pack up. Leave Mythic Realm tomorrow morning. Love Farm stood up excitedly. Shouting for the instructor, he still wanted to say some words to persuade them to stay. But he was interrupted by the instructor. If it is those two informants who caused all this, then Blackmire's stronghold will inevitably be implicated. The more we delay, the more variables there will be. We must go out and solve it as soon as possible. Every banquet must come to an end. Sooner or later, we have to leave. I have taught you everything I could. The rest is up to you. Love Farm said with a sense of grievance. I understand. Early the next morning, on a cliff at Misty Swamp Ridge, all the swamp imps gathered here, each bidding farewell to their human friends. Stonejwu was packed with things. Old stone. The sweet potatoes outside don't taste as good as the ones we grow ourselves. Please pick more. Water Xiaoling is also surrounded by a group of doctor's disciples over there. I really want to lie on Miss Water's chest like them. The princess also reminded everyone to ensure that everyone's diet is well taken care of. In fact, the instructor is quite worried too. He doesn't know if he will have the chance to farm again after going out. Love Farm walked up to the instructor without saying a word, in order not to let Love Farm feel too sad. The instructor also smiled and said to him, Ready to go. Don't cry. It's not like it's goodbye forever. Love Farm's tears couldn't help but roll down. Among them, the most sorrowful one is Hao Gung. She is inherently sensitive and melancholic. At this moment, she cries 2 waterfalls. Finally, the instructor clasped his fists and said to the swamp imps, who were already in a sorry state, Everyone, the green hills remain unchanged, and the water keeps flowing forever. In the bright future, we'll meet again. Having said that, the group headed towards the cliff. Jumped. Parting is inevitable after being together. And parting is also for a better reunion. Farewell to Blackmire Stronghold, which has accompanied us for half a year. When the instructor leaped, Lady Howe on the other side has already been rescued. Her temper is still very strong. Shameless scoundrel Chu Skylight, forcing my daughter to dress like this to catch fish. Lu Lian has a different opinion. He is persuading. Hao Gung seems quite happy. The situation inside shouldn't be that bad. The only response it elicited from Lady Howe was, "Nonsense!" Snow Moran from the Snow family on the side is very headache-inducing. This guy's identity is so sensitive. Doesn't he know to keep a low profile? Fortunately, Grandpa doesn't know his name or appearance. At this time, someone suddenly came to report that all the examinees of the Blackmire Swamp Imp have come out. Just when several major families rushed over. The people around the examination room are also discussing it. Especially our instructor. The evaluation is really extraordinary. It's like reaching heaven or falling into hell. With a familiar entrance scene, our instructor enters, like a general planting seeds. The honorable medic appears in the scene. He also brought some local products from Blackmire Stronghold. The onlookers all exclaimed in surprise. He is not wearing pants. But why is it so perky? When the instructor lifted his pants, then someone shouted Stone Juawu, and all the parents arrived. Stone Juawu was especially happy to see his mother. But his mother? Who is this guy? Stone Juawu also took out the watermelon he grew himself. He wanted his mother to taste it. His mother quickly waved her hand and said, "Stop for now. Have I not taught you before? Don't talk too much in front of others. Maintain your image." De Tsongming was stunned. He forgot about tending the fields. His mother asked about his clothes again. Where did his earrings and storage device go? Stone Juawu is an honest child. Although very flustered, he admitted everything. He lost all his money in the game to Brother Chu. By the way, he immediately introduced his lifelong best friend to his mother Chu Skylight. However, the situation with the instructor is somewhat tricky. The instructor just came out of Mythic Realm. He was immediately caught by the officials. The princess is not happy about this. "How dare you? Let me go, master." Stone Juawu also came over. "What are you doing? Why did you tie up my brother?" The soldiers reported the situation truthfully. Soul Spirit's mistake in the exam this time. Chu Skylight is highly suspected. Moreover, he even forced you to roast sweet potatoes. However, this action only brought the princess's angry scolding. "What do you mean by forcing me to roast sweet potatoes? Roasting sweet potatoes is my lifelong career. In the past 6 months, I supply sweet potatoes to the whole village. I roast until my hands are sore every day. This has trained me to have precise control over the heat. My skills are also rapidly improving. I have already reached the level of 2 stars Grand Martial Master." Stone Juawu agreed. "Not bad. I am also the same. I plow 50 acres of land every day. My physical body has been refined to the extreme. Now, I have reached the level of 1-star Grand Martial Master." This directly shocks the parents' 3 outlooks. It's not over yet. Water Shaoling also mentioned that. "I am too. I treat Swamp Imp for various difficult diseases every day. Soul power is depleted repeatedly every day. Unconsciously, I have leveled up to 3 stars. Hao Gung has realized a new martial art in the daily fishing practice. Everything is within the plan of the instructor. He had anticipated this situation long ago. How could he come out unprepared? He led everyone in labor every day for the past 6 months, using spiritual grass and spiritual herb as ingredients for meals. We are working towards common prosperity. Everyone is making progress. All rumors will be debunked on their own. Even ordinary students are speaking out. Why are you arresting Teacher Chu? just based on the lies of these two ungrateful people who burned bridges after crossing them? The accusers hastily tried to defend themselves. We didn't lie. Is his collusion with Seductive Fox also fake? That Seductive Fox hasn't shown up at all. They must be too afraid to come out. This remark indeed has provoked disgust from those around, because Seductive Fox is synonymous with heinous crimes in people's minds. Just as the princess gritted her teeth in anger and frustration, someone suddenly called out to her, "Little Helianthus!" Fantastic. You're safe. Seeing the newcomer, the princess was also overjoyed and called out, "Big brother!" Only hearing the announcement from the eunuch, the first prince strode over with a spirited demeanor. The instructor just came out from the demon stronghold. He was immediately captured by the government officials. The government officials were then criticized by the princess. Let go of her, Sherfu. Just then, the first prince arrived. The excited princess hugged the first prince, showing that the first prince is also extremely kind to the princess on regular days. The doting first prince patted the princess's head and asked, "I heard you were inside for half a year. Is everything okay?" The princess said, "I'm doing very well. Thanks to my Sherfu Chu Skylight. He saved me from a pervert." He is a rare talent. Who would have thought he would spend so much effort on this? The instructor has been tied up again. He was directly arranged to stage a comeback. The angry princess exclaimed in a tender voice, "Why have you tied him up again? He is my lifesaver." Then she leaned in and said to the first prince, "Brother, my teacher is definitely a talented person. Maybe he can help you deal with Lanfeng. Please help him quickly." The first prince gently scolded, "What Lanfeng? He is your second brother." Then he squinted his eyes and pondered for a moment. Looking at the first prince's eyes, I knew this guy was definitely extraordinary. As everyone knows, in all manhwas, those who squint their eyes are always monsters. Then the first prince spoke up, "Everyone, our country does not have a law that mandates the capture of Seductive Fox. I have heard about the situation in the exam hall. That Seductive Fox did no harm. Why hold on to this issue?" As soon as he said this, people around began to whisper, "The first prince is right. There are even Seductive Fox songstresses being sold in the market. Why is nobody doing anything about that?" The first prince continued, "Moreover, he saved the princess, pacified Blackmire's stronghold, and led everyone in cultivation. His conduct and abilities are outstanding. With your talent, you are qualified to enter the Sacred Moon Academy for further studies." As soon as he finished speaking, a voice spoke out, "The Sacred Moon Academy does not accept students like you." Snow Morin, who has not been seen for a long time, has arrived with the Grand Elder of the Sacred Moon Academy. The voice we heard earlier was from this old Snow. The two first paid their respects to the first prince. Then they mentioned that the first prince is kind-hearted. Since you believe they are innocent, the old minister has no objections. But the Seductive Fox has long been recognized as a troublemaker. As the Grand Elder of the Sacred Moon Academy, you have the responsibility to oversee the source of students in the academy. Chu Skylight will not tolerate Seductive Fox Sacred Moon. The instructor looks panicked when he sees Snow Morin. He is afraid of his identity being exposed. Old Snow also noticed the strange looks between the two. So Old Snow asked, "Do you know each other?" Instructor was sweating profusely. Morin quickly denied, saying, "No, I don't know them." He understood in his heart. Grandfather was a supporter of the second prince. If first prince wanted to win over grandfather, he would definitely not go along with first prince's intentions. I heard that the Sacred Moon Academy is not accepting instructors. The princess gritted her teeth in anger. So unreasonable. Master is so outstanding. Do you think Sacred Moon is special because Sherfu values you? Then I won't go to Sacred Moon either. Wherever Sherfu goes, I will follow. First prince was just about to persuade the princess. Stone Zhuwu stood up again. Determinedly said, "Count me in. A hero never abandons a true friend." Ranked first in the college entrance examination, but not accepted by the school? The instructor encountered this situation. However, Sacred Moon unexpectedly does not accept the instructor. The princess, as the disciple of the instructor, naturally also expressed her firm refusal to go to Sacred Moon. And Stone Zhuowu, as the second-generation old farmer, also stated his position. Wherever Brother Chu goes, he will go. But he was soon scolded by his old mother. It's not over yet. Many ordinary students also said that they must follow Teacher Chu. Within half a year, he helped them advance by 2 levels. This is something that the school cannot achieve. Amidst the noise, Old Snow shook his head secretly, feeling that they were quite naive. At this moment, the chief examiner from the Infinite Academy on the side spoke up. Since Sacred Moon has refused, do you want to come to the Infinite Academy, Chu Skylight? Although Infinite may not be as good as Sacred Moon, with your outstanding talent, as long as you come, the terms can be negotiated. Seductive Fox can also come along. Infinite treats everyone equally. Just said. The one who snatched people has arrived. A big man said. Lu Ming. Infinite, don't bother recruiting people if that's the level. Why not come to Azure Mountain instead? Except for Sacred Moon Jiaolan. We are the strongest at Azure Mountain. Crystal Stone Dan Pill. Ask for anything, get anything. I can't stop it now. There are those who use the strongest external martial arts to recruit. There are also those who use beautiful women to seduce. Their eyes lit up one by one, as excited as a dog seeing a bone. Not only did they receive the strongest disciple this year, but they also received the lightning sword and the third princess as a bonus. This has left Old Snow flustered. On the other side, the instructor is in a miserable state. Pulling their hair and yanking their braid, trying everything to no avail, they have started to resort to force. Note that this remaining tenderness only comes from the Azure Mountain Academy. Azure Mountain shouts with enthusiasm. Come to Azure Mountain. A home in the royal heart. Come to Azure Mountain, where spiritual pool plays its part. The princess on the side wanted to go and rescue, but couldn't even insert her hand. Suddenly, Lu Ming raised his hand. He directly used his ultimate move. Give the fields to Tion. Plant whatever you want. Wow. That's spot on, hitting him right in the feels. The instructor was taken aback when he heard it. He was so caught up that he's nearly being pulled bald. He dashed straight to Lu Ming's side. I'm going to Infinite. He thought to himself. I have plenty of resources for immortal cultivation. Those few old lunatics gave me more than I can use. I will ally with the royal family. It's all the same wherever I go. Of course, the best place is where I can farm. So many people are competing. Old Snow, who was mocking them for being childish just now, is shaking with anger. He can't save face either. He turned around and said to Moran, the admissions officers of these academic institutions are really absurd. Sacred Moon disdains to associate with them. Look at that. Moran can tell he's just putting on a tough front. And behind them is the first prince. He had been smiling all along, as he looked at Old Snow thoughtfully. Then he turned to the instructor and said, the top scholars of the previous imperial examinations all received rewards from the royal family. You saved the princess and made a great contribution. You deserve an additional reward. How about I allow you to choose an item from the royal family's treasury? When the instructor heard this, he exclaimed, the royal family's treasury. Could there be the stone of unsealing there? Okay. The school directly gives fields to students for them to cultivate in order to attract enrollment. Just such a small operation. Let a second-rate school produce the top scorer in the exam. And then also give away a princess, a lighting sword, plus a bunch of outstanding candidates. Many peripheral candidates are discussing. I heard the last candidate came out. It is said that the seductive fox starved to death. So sad. The scene shifts to the candidate's medical room. Jiyoshi is eating voraciously. Whatever there is, she eats. Water Showling indulgently asks her to slow down. What is going on here? Do you remember when the instructor came out? He was holding one of Jyoshi's hairs, but Jyoshi was not seen. That's because when he leaped down at that time, Jyoshi was hanging on a tree branch. She still had a belt in her hand. That's how it happened. Come back and continue. When Jyoshi was eating, Lu Ming came to inform him that he would handle the enrollment procedures. 2 weeks later, Infinite University starts. Just arrive on time for registration. After thanking Princess Lu Ming, the instructor rushed out and said, Master, shall I take you to the treasure vault to pick treasures tomorrow? Brother Ah Xiong has many official duties, so he left first. Before leaving, he specifically instructed me to personally take you to pick treasures. He values you a lot. Just finished speaking, old Farmer Stone came again. Stone's mother, with a gloomy face, followed behind. I don't know if it's because he's unwilling to change his old clothes. Stone Zhuowu came specifically to invite instructor to stay at his house for a few days. When his mother heard this, she thought, this kid is taking matters into his own hands again. The princess was very happy to hear this. This way she could also visit Shifu frequently. She asked Lady Stone to take care of Shifu. When the princess said this, Stone's mother could only agree. So the group arrived at the Stone family estate. The Stone Zhuowu family has a big house and a big business. He immediately arranged 2 neighboring rooms for instructor and Jyoshi to stay in. Instructor thanked Stone Zhuowu before. He directly flew and pounced onto the big bed. He really lived up to being from a wealthy family. Such a soft bed. Brother System then came out to say that the mission was completed very well. So it's time for the delivery process. Brother System says he won't let you down. I'm just guessing. What awesome stuff is this treasure going to be again? Ding, 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 ding. A brand new high-level item. Voice of Enchantment. Its function is that language can control the opponent's mind for 3 seconds. Instructor's face full of anticipation immediately fell. Isn't this just a nightclub flyer? Previously rewarded tractor. Now this broken system only gives out a nightclub flyer? This is also not the fault of the instructor for being unhappy. Brother System is unhappy. What a small card. This is made from the props pieces of freckled. Those abnormal props are all enchanting and enhancing types. What can I do? But its effect is very good. The cooldown time is only 1 day and shortens with level up. Instructor looked disdainful. It's better to bring another tractor. He immediately got a big scolding from the Brother System. Damn it! You just know how to farm. You should think about the future. You are now a celebrity. How many eyes are staring at you every day? Try not to use the cards from the old folks in public as much as possible. Be careful not to be found out about your background. It's safer to use my own. The instructor had to take over. He remembered there was a bluff to play. He then asked, How much longer until the cooldown? The Brother System replied, 3 years left. Each system comes with an identity card as a beginner's tool. Its power is actually quite strong. Once your level goes up, it will be very useful. The Voice of Enchantment is also very useful. You can give it a try. So, the next morning, Stone Zhuowu greeted the instructor with a good morning. However, he had no idea that he would soon be in trouble. The instructor was holding a small card in his hand and asked him to come closer. Then he used a prop on Songming and said, You love to wear women's clothing. Stone Zhuowu was stunned for a moment. He turned around and said to his mother, Mother, your clothes are so beautiful. His mother thought to herself, This kid, why is he so sweet-talking today? When have I not been beautiful? But Stone Zhuowu's next sentence directly scared her. He said, I also want to wear it. Can I try it on? Then he shouted that he wanted a little skirt. He ran to find a tailor. His mother hurriedly chased after him. Instructor looked at this effect. He thumbs up directly. Brother System couldn't stand it anymore. Let him behave himself. Instructor is holding a small card. I don't know what kind of sneaky move he's thinking of again. A servant ran up to him and called out, "The princess has arrived. She is waiting outside." The princess outside is nervously asking how Gung. "Is my hair messy?" When she heard that teacher Chu had come out, she happily ran over. The princess, dressed meticulously, displayed her beauty without reservation. It seems like she is experiencing the stirrings of spring. And our clever one, still puzzled under the big bag on his head, wonders why he had such a strong impulse to dress as a woman just now. Instructor temporarily stayed at the Stone family mansion. After he flirted with Stone Zhuowu, the princess, who was meticulously dressed, came to find him. The princess's appearance directly touched the heart of the instructor. "The key is still the flat chest," the princess happily said. "Sherfu, I will take you to the treasure trove. After choosing the treasures, shall we go to Royal City for some sightseeing?" How could the instructor refuse? He praised the princess as well. The princess was thrilled by the praise. Sherfu really has the same good taste as the Queen Mother. When the Queen Mother was still around, she loved to dress me up. She often praised me for looking cute in this way. Brother System expressed his deep sorrow with tears in his eyes. "The little princess has fallen for you. It's not easy. Finally, it's not just a sisterly bond anymore." The two of them then rode a carriage to the Royal City Treasury. In front of a small pavilion, the carriage came to a stop. It seems like some kind of formation has been set up around the pavilion. After the two got off the carriage, they walked straight towards the pavilion. Above the Tai Chi diagram in the center, there was a semi-transparent light curtain. The princess placed her hand on it. Then she rotated the Tai Chi light pattern. With a clang sound, she seemed to have activated some mechanism. The Tai Chi diagram under their feet shook slightly, lowering slowly with the two of them, like an elevator. It turns out the treasure trove is hidden underground. This mechanism is truly mysterious and profound. The princess explained to the instructor with ease. "We can only choose from the first level of the treasure trove. Here, we have cultivation methods. Over there, we have artifacts. The quality on this level is the highest, but they are only master level. However, there are also many good items available." Then she asked the Sherfu, "What do you want? I will help you find it." The instructor said he would take a look around first. So he used his martial soul golden eyes to search for the stone of unsealing. After all, he was not lacking in treasures. He began to search using his martial soul. However, he searched everywhere, but found no trace of the stone of unsealing. Could it be on the lower levels? At this moment, a blood mist suddenly rose around him. The range of the blood mist gradually expanded. And this dense blood mist was all caused by a figure. A figure shrouded in blood appeared in the Grand Royal Treasury. It is unknown what secret lies hidden. The figure walked slowly, stirring up the blood mist, murmuring with a hint of resentment. "My clan is innocent. The guilt lies with me alone." The figure seemed not to notice instructor as he walked past. But when she saw his face directly, Instructor panicked. "Isn't this Crimson Grandma?" Then, he hurriedly wanted to catch up. The princess probably couldn't see this strange scene. "I wonder what's wrong with her Sherfu." Instructor is now full of questions. This seems to be the appearance of Crimson Grandma when she was young. But how could she appear here? Is it an illusion? Regardless, we must catch up and figure it out. The figure ahead keeps moving forward, muttering to themselves. "The guilt lies with me alone," Instructor shouted. "Crimson Grandma." But when the person turned around, in the instant when one person and one shadow faced each other, suddenly, a lot of images appeared in Instructor's mind. He saw the plane where the sun was setting. Sinister humanoids hiding in the darkness. Then came the seductive Fox clan, battered and bloodied, fleeing for their lives. But ultimately, they could not escape death. Every member of the clan was executed, their bodies hung as a warning. At the end of the scene, there was a faint bitter smile on the face of someone who looked like Crimson Grandma in her youth. Suddenly, A burst of self-luminous light flashed before my eyes. It seemed like I had returned to the real world. The blood mist was nowhere to be seen. The figure was standing in front of a huge, shining bookshelf. He turned around and looked at the instructor. Later, she placed her hand on that book. The only black 30,037 on top. Asked faintly, "Chu Skylight? Why do all envoys from the Divine Empire have fake systems? Is the system not valuable now?" On this day, Lu Lian's servant suddenly came to report. He said the special envoy has arrived. Lu Lian hurried to greet him, only to see that the visitor's face mask was marked with 3,005. The other one was marked with 26,000. These two individuals are envoys from the Divine Empire. They greeted Lu Lian and exchanged pleasantries. Lu Lian then led them to formation where the examination was disrupted. This black square is the formation of Shadowmire. It has been closed and deactivated for observation due to malfunction. Lu Lian also found that the formation seems to have been altered. At the mention, a strange light flickered in the eyes of the Divine Envoy. He said it might be due to lack of maintenance for too long. However, Lu Lian mentioned that they do maintenance every month. The Divine Envoy suddenly changed the topic. "Have you heard that the Swamp Imp in Shadowmire has all turned over a new leaf?" After receiving confirmation from Lu Lian, he stated that this mythic realm could no longer be used. He would return Shadowmire to the demonic continent, since these mythic realms were originally separated from the demonic continent by the elders. They were able to influence the Swamp Imp's change. This aspiring candidate named Chu Skylight is quite interesting. I really want to meet with him. On the other side, in the treasure trove, after Chu Skylight saw the weeping Crimson Grandma, he fell into a coma. The princess kept calling out to him anxiously. Chu Skylight slowly opened his eyes and saw the princess, who also breathed a sigh of relief. From the princess, he learned that he had suddenly rushed out, grabbed the stone, and then fainted. He recalled what had just happened. When he went to chase after the illusion of Crimson Grandma, he found that it was all caused by this stone. It was like a stone condensed with resentment. He lost consciousness as soon as he touched it. But what exactly has Crimson Grandma experienced? Why was she crying like that? He has never told me anything about it. I was just thinking about it. He was called out of his thoughts by the princess. The princess asked, "Sherfu, are you going to choose this stone?" Chu Skylight certainly wanted the stone. Crimson Grandma's secret is hidden inside. He is determined to find out the truth. Stone Family Mansion Gate. Chu Skylight had just been sent back by the princess when someone stopped him. The two divine envoys are already waiting inside the manor. They want to meet him. Chu Skylight returned. Stone Shuwu was about to greet him, but was scolded by his mother. No laughing allowed. Close your eyes and mouth. Then she introduced with the lobster Stone Shuwu and Chu Skylight, saying, "These two are divine envoys from the Divine Empire. They have heard about your deeds in the exam hall and specially wanted to meet you." After speaking, she hurriedly pushed the lobster and left. At this time, Brother System came out. He warned that these two divine envoys are not right. I noticed that there are fake systems on them. At that moment, the two individuals spoke up. "You must be Chu Skylight. I heard that you are farming and living in Mythic Realm. Jialan really has a lot of talented individuals. But you actually went to a lower-ranking institution like Infinite. It seems that Jialan doesn't treat talent well." Instructor is still wondering what he meant by that. The person actually took out a system item directly. Continuing, he said, "Only excellent academies have good immortal cultivation resources to provide for students' growth." The instructor was completely bewildered by this action. "Just say what you need to say. What are you doing with your props?" Brother System quickly remind him. This person is above martial lord level. Don't act recklessly. Then the special envoy intentionally raised the props in front of the instructor, saying that the Divine Empire is powerful and asking if they should consider coming to the Divine Empire. The Brother System knew he was testing whether the instructor could see the props. It quickly covered the instructor's eyes. Using this test to evaluate a cadre is underestimating the instructor. The instructor said, "Special Envoy, you may not understand me. In my eyes, land is the most important resource. Farming to me is as joyful as sucking a spiritual vein." The special envoy was scared off this time. "What is this operation?" "Instructor, keep outputting. The world is vast. Only infinite lets me farm. I won't go anywhere. Do you understand? The joy of nurturing life." The ambassador is sweating. "I understand. You are indeed a genius. Since your heart belongs to infinite, I won't force you." But he has not given up his probing. He continued to hold up the props and said, "But if you need help in the future, you can come to me anytime." As he said this, he suddenly patted the props onto the instructor's shoulder. Men can also be meticulous, just like women. The envoy of the Divine Empire actually has props too. He even pushed the prop into the instructor's body. He could only pretend to be completely unaware and go along with it. 3,500 hearts ponder. It seems like this guy really has no issue. He left with just one sentence, saying goodbye, and then turned around and left. Cautious 3,500 took a last look before leaving. After they left, the instructor started acting cute. "Ah Chang. He's such a pervert. Just stuffed the props indirectly." The brother system is quite happy. "Great stuffing. What does it mean there are no guns or cannons, and the enemy gives you fabricate them? This way, we have more raw materials. It would be even better if we could stuff 2 more. Instructor thinks this person is definitely more advanced than Freckled. They can directly create props out of thin air. After a check by the brother system, these props are for temporary positioning. But what are they positioning for? Do they have a follow-up plan? The days at Stone Family Mansion are very comfortable. Time also passes quickly. On this day, Water Shaoling came with a bundle. Stone Zhuowu was very happy to see Water Shaoling. He asked her, "Why did you suddenly come?" Stone's mother said that she invited her. "I specifically found Old Water Lord to prepare a medicinal bath for you. You must start soaking from today. You have to soak for 3 days straight. Because this year, the seeded players have all gone to Infinite these days, Stone's mother received too many invitations from academic institutions. Infinite is afraid that students will be poached, so they advanced the start of the school year. That is 3 days later. Therefore, you must come back within 3 days." Stone Zhuowu strongly protests. He believes that his current skin color embodies the style of a hero. What awaits him is Infinite Academy located in the northeast of Jialan Imperial City. Adjacent to vast Ocean Academy, there is a mountain with 12 islands. 70% of the area is covered by the ocean and rivers. Therefore, the transportation used to welcome new students is... It's a spaceship. Yes, a spaceship. But what does this have to do with the ocean? Chu Skylight is very happy flying so high for the first time. He has been playing with the clouds all along. Jiyoshi made a sarcastic comment on the side. "Can you have a bit of dignity?" Suddenly, a bird flew past her eyes. Just now, he was still complaining about Chu Skylight. He ran off to chase after the bird himself. The princess here asked the people next to her, "Why are you covering up so tightly?" This person is actually Stone Zhuowu. He raised his carefully protected hand and said, "Just took a medicinal bath. Skin is very tender. Can't be exposed to the sun." Just as they were talking, there was a person behind them in disguise. He raised his hand and started reciting an incantation. The entire spaceship lost its balance. It started shaking violently. Suddenly someone shouted. The spaceship's flight formation was blown up. Things are going crazy on board. People keep getting thrown off. Luckily, the instructor grabbed the railing. But at this moment, Jiyoshi fell down. She grabbed onto the belt that she was extremely familiar with in one go. The instructor has been fooled several times. He got a scissor lock on Jiyoshi. After all, He doesn't want to lose his belt again. In the midst of chaos, the boat was about to capsize. Those who could swim immediately started helping others. For example, the princess. However, isn't this person a bit excessive? What is the meaning behind this biting the butt move? Couldn't hold it anymore. A few people burst into laughter together. This scene happened to be seen by the instructor. He asked Joshi to hold on well. We can't afford to fall off. Just as he finished speaking, a voice suddenly came from above. Brother Chu! Stoneju's big face struck him head-on. This headbutt can be considered a direct hit. 3 injured little flowers, drifting and falling to the ground. The spaceship was bombed by someone. A group of people biting their buttocks. Holding the princess, they fell down. Right before they were about to fall onto the sea surface. The princess's eyes turned red. One hammer, 160. Smashed onto the sea surface. Powerful reaction force. Let a few people's descent speed slow down. A few people gently fell into the water. How Gung's ears were filled with water. He gave a thumbs up to the princess. His Highness is still the most powerful. The princess was complacently praised, completely unaware of the huge dark shadow underwater. The dark shadow surged out of the water surface, opening its big blood-stained mouth. It charged towards the group and bit at them. And on the Lost Immortals Square of the Infinite Academy. Lu Ming has been waiting for students. But why haven't they arrived after such a long time? Someone hurried over to report anxiously. Bystein! There's trouble with the new student spaceship. The formation was bombed. Although they managed to make an emergency landing, there are still dozens of students who fell near Thunderlight Island. Lu Ming was shocked when he heard Thunderlight Island mentioned. Thunderlight Island is a restricted area of the Academy. Even he rarely goes there. No one knows what's inside. He quickly sent someone to investigate the cause of the spaceship accident. All teachers above the rank of Martial Grandmaster were organized to launch a rescue operation. Be sure to ensure the safety of the students. On the other side, our Joshi was sweating profusely because next to her was a pair of blood-red eyes as big as lanterns. A huge mutant wild boar was panting heavily as it looked at Joshi hanging from a tree. Joshi was also unlucky. Both of them fell down and were all dizzy. Only she caught the attention of this fierce boar. Life is not easy. Joshi took a deep breath. It looks like it's time to show off one's talents in this episode. So she performed a golden cicada shedding its shell move. The moment she landed, within the span of 0.001 seconds, she shot off at a speed of 100 kilometers per second. The pigs are all dumbfounded. WTF? Where are the people? Joshi slowly revealed her true form. This way, the speed will be faster. She took the opportunity to lead the little pig away. Otherwise, it would be ruined if those two were noticed. So she shouted, "Stupid dog! Come chase me!" The little pig was not happy. It snorted unhappily. "I'm a pig!" It then started charging forward like a wild boar. Little Fox was charged by the wild boar. However, this little pig was running a bit slowly. During the chase, it kept getting hit by Little Fox, making the little pig cry out in pain. Joshi's cub even mocked by flipping the middle finger. "Stupid dog! Come and chase me!" She thought to herself that the dog was big and dumb. It's not difficult to shake it off with the help of the terrain. She suddenly bumped into something. It turned out to be a wild boar many times larger than the one just now. The little one was calling for its mom in a pitiful voice. And in some details, I could tell that this small one is a male. The big mother wild boar saw her child being bullied and roared in anger. Just as Joshi was caught in a pincer attack, not knowing how to respond. A claw surrounded by lightning suddenly appeared. A mighty blow was struck. The wild boar was pushed back several yards. And Joshi was awakened by the commotion. She turned to see a figure completely hidden in the darkness. He said coldly, How pathetic! On the other side of the beach, the instructor slowly opened his eyes. The blow from Stone Zhuowu's header still hurts now. He looked around. He found Stone Zhuowu still unconscious and quickly tried to wake him up. But old Stone, why have you turned red? Stone Zhuowu was startled and pulled out a mirror. Oh my! My skin was still sensitive. Now it's all red. Mother will criticize me again. The instructor did not see Jiushi around and looked around. He found Jiushi's little cape on a tree branch. Stone Zhuowu ran over with a grumbling stomach and said, "The cape is still here. She should be nearby. Not sure how long we've been unconscious. Can't even distinguish footprints on the ground anymore." The instructor listened to his growling stomach. Are you really this hungry? Stone Zhuowu looked a little embarrassed. Brother Chu smiled. Even heroes have moments when their stomachs can't bear it. The instructor has been exposed to the sun for so long and is also very thirsty. Until now, what place is this after all? Stone Zhuowu thought this should be one of the 12 infinite islands. They then left a distress signal and planned to search for a water source and Jiushi after they left. A dark figure reached out a dark hand towards the signal. The dark figure threw it into the sea. On the other side, the princess and Hao Geng dragged 3 stubborn people and flew for a long time. They were also extremely thirsty. They had been flying without finding any land or water source. The princess was on the verge of collapsing. Suddenly, a ball of fresh water flew in front of her. They had encountered Water Shaolin, the water elemental martial artist. She has been drifting at sea for a long time. Ask the princess if they have seen Zhuowu. They have indeed encountered Water Shaolin. The child who was weaned saw his mother, rushing towards Water Shaolin and crying, "Mommy!" However, I said, "Brother, do you have any special hobbies?" This is a big green coconut. The person is the mastermind behind the previous spaceship explosion. He is currently carefully arranging coconuts on the ground. I wonder what he is up to now. A student in distress arrived from behind at this moment. After running for a long time, he finally met someone. Moreover, he saw that this person had a lot of coconuts in his hands. He, who was already extremely thirsty, expressed his need. Can you spare me one? When we return to Infinite, I will repay you. The person did not speak, but instead showed a sinister expression. He looked towards a tree hole on the side. On the other side, Instructor and Stone Zhuowu have already become so thirsty that they started gnawing on tree leaves. Suddenly he discovered a coconut. It was a big green coconut. He didn't say a word and started smashing it right away. And then he started sucking on a coconut. Stone Zhuowu on the side was already extremely thirsty, but he still politely asked, "Brother Chu, can you give me a drink?" However, the instructor completely ignored him. He could only reach out to grab it. But the instructor's mouth seemed to have grown onto the coconut. It was already distorted, but he still didn't let go of the coconut. This mouth was truly incredible. Stone Zhuowu only obtained a few drops of coconut milk in the end. However, the instructor discovered another one. He was intercepted by the brother system when he lunged over. Keep calm, host. Don't you find it strange? There are no coconut trees nearby. How come there are so many coconuts? He calmed down and looked at the distribution of coconuts on the ground. Indeed, it seemed like someone was purposely luring them forward. Suddenly, there was a scream ahead. It's a matter of great importance. The two of them quickly ran over to take a look. But when they arrived at the scene, they found one person's big bottom was stuck in a tree hole. He even claimed that a monster had captured his head. 2 people fell silent for a while. But the one in trouble still needs to be rescued. So the instructor stepped forward. With a slap, he patted the person's buttocks. Then he started the rescue operation. He grumbled in his mouth. "What are you digging a hole for when there's nothing wrong?" At this moment, he suddenly felt a strange force. Instructor and Stone Zhuowu's survival on the deserted island encountered it, but They are implementing the rescue mission. He suddenly felt a strange force approaching. The instructor was also pulled in, leaving only a butt outside the tree hole. The sudden turn of events startled the instructor. "Old Stone, help me. This thing is quite strong." Old Stone heard the call for help. He stepped forward and patted the instructor on the backside. "Hang in there, Brother Chu. I'll save you now." But just as Stone Juowu was trying hard to pull out the radish, the person in a white robe hiding behind the tree appeared. He aimed at Stone Juowu's buttocks. "He kicked directly at you." Stone Juowu staggered. The three of them entered the cave together. Instructor asked anxiously, "Old Stone, how did you also come in?" When he learned that Old Stone was kicked in by someone, Instructor then realized they were tricked by someone. Three people slid down the hole gurgling and grumbling. The hole was really long. Half a day later, his face finally touched the ground. When he got up, the white-robed figure unexpectedly appeared here. He opened his mouth and said, "Among the bull-headed ants, even the worker ants have the skill level of a Grand Martial Master or above, with strong attacking tendencies. And within this nest, there are at least thousands of bull-headed ant instructors." The two people in front of him looked at the densely packed bull-headed ants, sweating profusely. "These are no ordinary ants. They are all Grand Martial Masters." The man sneered. "Come on, Chu Skylight. Let me see if you are truly the chosen one as spoken by Master Senkianwu." This statement left the instructor stunned. Why? He wondered why, at that moment, he had not shown any flaws, yet still came under suspicion. The son of the dimension got his chrysanthemum exploded by an ant. Two old farmers were tricked by Divine Empire envoys. They fell into an ant hole full of Grand Martial Masters. In fact, there was a third person too. The first one to be dragged into the hole. His brain was almost squeezed out of shape. The instructor stepped forward to rescue them. But the ant's forceps were too strong. Just as he was about to use the war god arm, Brother System asked him to wait. Old Stone was kicked down by someone. This is likely a trap. Don't easily expose the war god arm. But we don't need the war god arm. The current situation is very difficult to deal with. In a critical moment, Old Farmer Stone stepped forward. The strength of the child of the interdimensional is still very strong. He directly swept through a large group of bull-headed ants. The two instructors were crouching on the ground shivering. But at this moment, suddenly, an ant with venomous spines, looking very powerful, launched a surprise attack. With a poochie sound, Old Farmer Stone was instantly defeated. He let out a cheerful groan. This scared the instructor, who shouted, "Old Stone!" The ant successfully launched a sneak attack and retreated back into the ant colony. These should be the soldier ants. It looks like they have reached the martial grandmaster stage. The instructor immediately dragged two people to prepare to escape. The bull-headed ant is not only strong in power, but also numerous in number. Fighting is definitely not an option. He found a hole, and then led the two people to drill into it. "I will lead the way. You guys follow me. Crawl forward." But Old Farmer Stone is miserable. This sandy soil. Every step is stepping on his face. And then, a bull-headed ant appears ahead. The three people hurriedly drifted into the corner. They changed direction and advanced along a different corridor. But inside this room, one big and one small are playing cards. This guy is interrupting. The nest of the bull-headed ant is intricate with various chambers serving different functions. Luckily, the brother system has read the bull-headed ant's lifestyle guide. The further down the ant nest, the smaller it becomes, with fewer ants. Therefore, several people continued moving downwards. After half a day, they arrived at an open area. Several people were extremely tired. Fortunately, those bull-headed ants stopped chasing. The instructor suddenly noticed that the ground had become hard. It's not that sandy soil anymore. As he slowly dug into the ground, a brilliant blue color unexpectedly appeared beneath. I've been farming here for 18 years since I crossed over. I originally just wanted to grow fruits and vegetables peacefully and quietly. I didn't expect that I would be duped by the Divine Empire messenger, forced to be involved in the cycle within the ant nest full of Grand Martial Masters. I dug out a piece of deep blue. The three of us, struggling brothers in distress, digging away. But this thing is as tough as ice. We've been chiseling for half a day and still haven't made a dent. I want to try licking it to see if it works. The stone Zhuowu behind had already summoned the lightning sword. It seems that the lightning sword of the son of the plane is particularly effective against this ice crystal-like object. It seems that solidified soul power is needed to break through this thing. However, neither of us have it. We can only cheer Old Stone on from the sidelines. Under his tireless efforts, the crystal at my feet cracked open. Old Stone landed steadily and handsomely.